And hello. Good
Hello.
evening. Good evening,
Hello.
everybody. Good evening. Good evening. And welcome to another episode of this here Ghost's Saltmarsh. I am, believe it or not, the dungeon master for this game. These gentlemen
Shocking.
are our players to various and sundry degrees. We're all chilling. Hope y'all are all chilling. Uh, so I'll go over some quick announcements, and then we'll just hop right on into it because that's fun and exciting, and why we play Dungeons and Dragons. So, we are still doing our charity run for Extra Life, which is a charity that benefits children's hospitals across continental North America, meaning the United States as well as Canada. Specifically, our drive will be benefiting Children's Hospital of Atlanta, and these guys help out kids that are sick and just need the little bit of extra boost to help get the stuff done that they need done. So, it's a worthwhile cause. So open your hearts and wallets to that. And you may also win some cool prizes like a digital copy of Tasha's Culture and Everything, a gaming mouse and or gaming keyboard at our $2,500 and $3,500 goals. So, be sure to take a look at that down below in the description, and do the nice thing and be kind to individuals and help them kids. So, aside from that, I don't know if we have any other announcements. May I just check out our Twitter? We've been posting spooky items. You know, this one we'll be planning to post them every day, all 30 days, 30 different items, spooky items. Some of them more disturbing than others. Some of them like, oh, that's kind of cool. Some of them are useful. Some of them are just terrifying. They actually don't serve any real purpose. But hey, check them out. That's fun and exciting. But other than that, I guess we'll go ahead and hop into a brief, swift recap. Yes, Jakob.
Happy Indigenous Peoples Day.
And happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Fuck old CC. Get him out of here. He was a dick. I just hope everybody at this point in time in world history understands he was an asshole. Uh, and yeah. So, that being said, last week on Go Saltmarsh, our heroes arrived into Saltmarsh. Finally, after quite a bit of journeying and a couple days on the road to de-stress, to kind of relax ish after their experiences in the Dreadwood, having some good talks, some some causing others irritation by means of fucking with them while they tried to relax while fishing. Um, but but also having some good conversations and kind of determining how maybe they'll do things, and the fact that they do plan to stick it out as a group regardless of what happens upon their arrival. On their arriving back in Saltmarsh, discovering that things in the conflict with the Sahuagin had taken a turn for the worse here recently, since they had departed, with heavy casualties and injured in recent skirmishes or battles. They were also informed that they were to go directly, by the guards of Saltmarsh, they were to go directly to Eleander Firebrand to speak to him. And on their way to him, noticed that they were getting a lot of sidelong looks and suspicious glances, and there was muttering going on from the townsfolk around them, which was explained once they spoke to Firebrand, who informed them that news about what happened got out unexpectedly quickly to the public, and had been framed in such a way that it looked like what the council, specifically probably Eleander or the other loyalist entities, political entities within the council, had basically ordered the hit within their own prison so that they could get around the judicial system of Saltmarsh and just be done with it. And this had done very little to help Eleander's, Captain Firebrand's credibility with the people, or the people's willingness to cooperate with himself, his men, or with the party as a whole. Things got a little heated in some points between differing political opinions of Julian, who is a local to this region, as well with between himself and Firebrand. However, ultimately, Firebrand informed him that he would be going himself to the front lines to better command and try to keep things together on the front. Our heroes departed a little bit of heated conversation between the party before Julian went to the boat to cool off, and the party eventually followed him and had a discussion that between Bart and Julian that may have led to some revelations about why he felt so strongly about the crown's presence, and by way of that, by Eleander's presence. They ended off last session by going and having their fun and exciting items identified by the good Captain Zendros, who told them what all they had, all the fun and exciting magical goodies, like the little crystal that can summon a fire elemental, as well as some sticks that can cast some spells upon the one who breaks them, or stemming from the one who breaks them, as well as taking some orders, some specialty orders from the rest of the party on some things that they either wanted looked into or messages delivered and the like. So we begin where we left off last session, where you guys had all exited Zendros's tent mobile home looking deal that she's got going on the longer she stays here. So, gentlemen, it is into the evening now, probably a little after 7 o'clock. What would you all like to do? Grab my iPad because I almost forgot it, which has all my notes and stuff, so I can't do that.
I think we were going to go pay a visit to some people who might have been spreading rumors. Was that the plan? Late night visit?
I don't know if we were going to do that. I know Gloob just sort of offered it up to the group that he told one person. And it's between him and the I'm gonna Verthag Dralian.
Albric Dralian.
Albric Dralian. Verthag is his butler. I just combined the two together. They have morphed since. But those two were in cahoots together, and that seemed mighty coincidental. Whether we want to pay them a visit or not, we haven't discussed.
Well, there's no time like the present.
I think it's not going to make our image any better if we're making late night visits to council members or such and such and so and so. If people see us, see that we're normal people in the light of day, it might help. And I mean, it could have been anybody who released any of the information. I don't know if it was necessarily a member of the council.
I would want to, Bart, but I think Jakob's right here. We already have too many eyes on us. They're looking at us worse than before when we first arrived.
All right. Yeah, we can take it easy and see them in the morning or something like that, I guess.
Julian?
Just, it didn't bother me too much, but if you guys want to wait on it, we can. Why not? It's not going to hurt.
I gotta go get Melvin. And Gloob is gonna go start walking towards the stamping line if anybody wants to join.
Okay.
We'll stick together.
Yeah.
All right, Julian, are you accompanying the rest of the party?
Yeah, just kind of seems a little not there, like his mind is elsewhere. Not really tuned into the conversation.
Sure. All right.
Did we resolve the housing situation for the horses?
Nope.
I think we paid for like 2 weeks last time, didn't we?
Y'all didn't.
But I mean,
Y'all
brought them
hooked up
back.
horses to the cart.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So.
Oh yeah, because I had made the suggestion we bring them up the ramps.
Yep. So y'all are still hauling around your small handful of horses that are pulling your cart.
We're heading to the snapping line anyways.
Okay, sure. They have stables, so you know. All right. Easily enough, making your guys' way as the evening begins to deepen over to the familiar sight of the snapping line. You'll make your way there. Familiar figures of the kind of, it looks like there are now two people that are outside, two kind of big burly types acting as kind of keeping a lookout for ruffians and the like.
Like a new guy?
No, just looks like rather than having only one outside at a time, she's got a couple of her bigger guys that haul things around and also act as bouncers, keep an eye on things on the outside as well.
Gotcha.
But if y'all are looking to put your horses up, easily enough done. Little bit extra for the cart as well. I'll say that the cart is for itself. Like, how long are y'all are y'all trying to just stow them for a long period as y'all were before? Or?
Yeah, that'd probably be best.
Okay. How long y'all looking to stow?
I'm gonna say a month.
A month. Okay.
Might as well reserve the space, right? Just in case, because we're not going to be taking a damn cart to the middle of the ocean or wherever we're going.
I mean, you can do weird things with magic, so who knows?
So how much would a month's
A month,
lodge?
I will say for a month per horse will be like a silver for putting them
Alright,
up for
yeah.
a month, because it's a singular horse and it's relatively cheap. So, and the cart is gonna be for the full month, since it's bigger, it just takes up more space. It's gonna be 5 silver for a month for the cart to keep it in that same area.
I will pay the entirety of it because it's my horse. So
Sure. So I think there were a couple horses. I think there were 2 horses pulling the cart. So I can't remember who had the second horse, but somebody else had a horse.
Bart did. It was Daisy.
No,
That
put
is-
Daisy behind.
Yeah, Daisy is a mule.
Oh,
I think we got
Did you
another
buy
one.
another horse?
So, can't
That
remember.
makes sense. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not overly concerned about
did
it.
Ella have a horse? It was Ella's
Yes,
horse, right?
it was Ella's horse. That's right. Which I'll say at some point, probably after y'all went to meet with Firebrand, Ella kind of broke off herself to go find a bed for the evening, and so y'all had one horse hauling around this fucking cart. I don't know.
Our
But-
horse.
Our horse. Oh, are y'all gonna steal this woman's horse? That's fucked up. But anywho, easily enough done. Kind of paying them off. Both of the guys, like, and they're familiar. Y'all have seen these guys before working in either on the outside or on the inside or moving stuff around. One of them probably at least has helped bring like brought a big old bucket of water for you somewhere, Gloob, because I believe y'all got some from them last time. And they don't look as hostile as some of the other townspeople have. They're looking at y'all kind of weird, but more in a like kind of like they're like they're sizing you up kind of way, kind of like eyeing you contemplatively. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. As y'all make
Yeah,
your way inside.
I'm still giving everyone that kind of smiling at them even as they look at me weirdly type kind of thing.
Mhm.
Just the whole concept of I don't care if you're looking at me weird. I'm still gonna be polite to you. Probably even more so if you're looking at me weird. Just yeah.
Yeah, they just kind of tilt their heads at you guys. We're just kind of look more curious than suspicious as other people have. Kind of they're running by what they know of you guys and what has been said through their own heads. As y'all make your way in, and it's at this point familiarly crowded as people have little to do. As y'all step in, I will note that a lot of these people all kind of, doing that thing where, people come in a room and everybody turns to look to see who came in. And a lot of these people just kind of, the chatter goes down. Like, it does, not dead silence, but it gets a lot quieter. A lot of these people are eyeing you. And I'll say easy enough, even with some low passive perceptions. Y'all see the majority of these guys are, the fishermen and maybe guys that deck hands and like maybe less wealthy merchants and stuff like that that seem to frequent this bar. which is smattering of mostly humans, like maybe a half elf here and there and some and the like. But standing out, y'all do all see easily enough off to one table by themselves are a couple larger, more imposing figures. One of whom is a large golden dragonborn, who's like big old beefy, broad-shouldered. Appears just has like a smattering of some leathers and stuff. Her companion is a large hobgoblin in full plate armor, gauntlets off. Both of them seem to be kind of sitting at the table, eating away. There's only two that stand out from the normal, and you'll have, of course, I am blanking on the bar owner's name. Holy shit, Hannah. Hannah is as things go. She calls. I see that you've all come back. Good evening. Just kind of making some pointed glances out to the rest of her patrons who slowly go back to their meals or drinks or whatever.
Hey Hannah,
Yeah.
where's Melvin?
Oh, he actually, we've had him. He's been hanging out with the cook. I've been trying to see if they can teach him any swears that he doesn't know already. I think.
Wonderful.
Well, helps. It's been keeping morale up, so I figured it didn't hurt. She, one moment, and disappears back in the back, bringing his cage out from the kitchen. Well, there you are. Did all of your trip go well? Kind of looking at you
Went
guys.
great. Went absolutely fantastic.
Well, that's very good. She's just looking at you guys, and she's struggling a little bit. After all of you left, there was started saying some things about you.
Yeah, we heard there are some rumors going around.
Most of the town doesn't seem to really think they're rumors.
Well, we've got bigger problems than the rumors of the town, unfortunate though they might be.
That is true. So, what can I do for all of you this evening?
Well, maybe some food for starters. It's about that time. We can eat a little early. Getting along in the evening.
Looks up at the early thing. Like, yeah, of course, yes. I can get some food out to all of you. Standard fare, but for all four of you, 2 silvers, easily enough. Meals and some drinks to go along with.
Sure.
Julian palms out 2 silver.
She collects us. It'll be out for you here shortly. Just find a seat anyway. Yeah. Somewhere, I guess, is more accurate.
All right. Well, Julian, what you reckon? You gonna tell him the good news?
He looks confused for a moment as he's like just finished handing the silver over. What?
Come on now. You're in a bar full of fishermen. Not all of them are drunk yet, and you got a real nice story to tell how a bunch of soldiers that have been patrolling the Dreadwood their whole damn life are going to reinforce the city.
He picks up what you're intending is. Ah, yes, of course. And I guess he will begin his mildly over-the-top storytelling routine, buying a few drinks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Say shells out another 5 silver over the course of handing out drinks.
Okay, sure. And roll a performance check for me.
There's actually worse things I could have to roll.
Like
That'll be a
persuasion.
17. No, I would say it's charisma based, so thank God.
Oh yeah, 17.
Such an ugly fellow. He's very charismatic.
That's Even with a 17, you don't get super good reception on the whole. People take the drinks from you, but let's see. A couple people set them off to the side. Not really seem to drink from them. Some of them drink from them, but not really much acknowledging the gesture. People seem to be kind of listening to the story, but most of them they're paying attention to you more out of kind of like suspicion than anything else.
He will.
Of you making a fanfare of what you're doing.
He will ignore the implied insult of not drinking the drinks and just kind of go about with the good news of the reinforcements coming from the fort.
Sure. Doesn't seem to alter the mood very much.
I know. He will
Sure.
not acknowledge the lack of altered mood.
Gotcha. After a short little bit, meals come out easily enough for the rest of you guys.
I've never seen a gold lizard folk before.
What's this say?
I don't know if Julian's going to know what this is. Hold on. Let's see. Yeah, me either.
Well, it's really nice that they're letting people of different backgrounds and stuff coming to the bar. At least Saltmarsh is opening up a little bit.
There's also while most people, it looks like most tables are pretty crowded, that one has remained just those two individuals, and nobody is attempting to sit with them or
Are they
take up space.
paying attention to anything specifically, or just having conversation between the two?
They seem to be having conversation between the two of them. They turned and like looked over at you guys, not with the same outright suspicion of them as the other townsfolk, because clearly they're not necessarily from around here. Just a little more kind of like, oh, new people, okay, and they kind of turned back and went back to their meal and drinks and their own conversation.
Well, I don't know. I reckon those two are probably the only ones that aren't looking at us like, you just punched their sister.
Yeah. If they're feeling as much like an outsider as I am right now, then maybe we can go just sit down with them. He said it was relatively crowded in here, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
It's
crowded.
not gonna be weird if we go sit down at the table with them, is it?
Right. Like I
Okay.
said, it was one of those where it was more surprising that nobody else looks like they're trying to do so, but
Gotcha.
they're a little.
Uh,
They're not. They don't look exactly friendly or welcoming at the very least.
do you want me to make introductions? I mean, or
Sure, if you want.
No offense, Jakob, but last time you made an introduction to Hannah, you called her wench. So maybe.
it wasn't the last time. That was the first time. Now
I think I have flashbacks every time we walk in through the door.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I do speak a little bit of Goblin and Draconics, so
Yeah,
might
absolutely.
make some friends. I don't know.
I believe in you. It's as long as you don't call one of them a wench.
Goes, okay. I'll make sure not to do that.
How do you say wench and draconic just to have it in the back pocket?
I'm gonna if that's a word in Draconic, I'm gonna
Sure.
tell Gloob.
Wonderful.
It's literally just wench. It's exactly the same. Weird, one of those weird kind of language crossovers.
Like,
Yeah.
the same word, but just like slightly different from like winch to winchick.
Yeah, it's just like it sounds vaguely snaky. They added an S in there somewhere, just to linger over.
Just a more sibilant.
There you go. All right, so y'all begin making your way over to the Hobgoblin and the Dragonborn, or Golden Lizard Folk, as some may be under the impression.
We don't know any better, all right?
That's a big lizard folk. I'm just saying. Like if you were comparing them to lizard folk you had seen, like broader snout, like maybe a little shorter, like just overall like beefier. And y'all have seen some beefy lizard folk, but yeah.
That's a big ass lizard folk.
Well, the natural one on the history check, yeah, Mark totally
That is
thinks that's
awesome.
a big gold lizard folk.
Yeah, I could roll a history. I just want to see if anybody has any idea.
I rolled a percentile and it came up a 14, so I was like,
That's
nope.
rough.
9.
Nobody knows what a dragonborn is. This is awesome.
I'm keeping the one.
Fantastic. So yeah, all y'all are like interested. Y'all found a shiny lizard folk. Like it's, I don't know how. It's crazy.
You know what? He might be royalty. It could be one of them things, you know.
Oh yes,
That's the way it works for us.
like a leader bloodline or something.
Right. It could
Interesting.
be the queen was maybe one of her other sons or something.
Just nod sagely, like yes, that
Like,
makes
or
sense.
They change color, like your skin or scales, like they shed them. They get in whatever. I don't know.
All right. So y'all are just approaching this table.
Yeah. Cause when you go up there, probably talk, you know, a little bit more formal, like, you know.
I'm gonna talk to the lizard folk, the shiny lizard folk, formally, but respectfully.
Okay. So
and
as
I'm
y'all
going
approach, you say,
to, do like polite introductions.
"What do you say, dog?"
in-
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do any weird lizard like draconic speech. Just what are you saying in draconic?
Yeah, but draconic and goblin to
Okay.
both of them.
Sure.
Just hello, how are y'all's day going? We're say our names and then
Mm-hmm.
ask if we can sit there
So
with their
you
permission.
you approach, and you say this first in draconic and then in goblin. And as you guys approach, they both turn to look at you guys because they have a fairly solid like amount of clearance at their table compared to everybody else. And so they see you come up and you finish this, and what pass for eyebrows on the golden lizard folks head kind of start to downturn as this goes on, and as you finish, the hobgoblin turns and responds in common. "We speak common, boy."
Well,
Real friendly. Just over
Hey.
Bart.
Us too. And Glue will take a seat.
They just kind of look at you all for a moment as you pulling up chairs. Hobgoblin continues. "Is there something that any of us can help you with?" He's just kind of squinting as he looks around at the four of you.
Well, y'all look like interesting folk. We hadn't seen you in town before. Thought we'd say hello. You were having a meal anyway, right?
New arrivals, yeah.
No, we've been here for a while. Been helping with the war effort here and there.
Oh. Very valiant of you.
I reckon.
He just kind of is like looking at y'all.
So what brings y'all to Saltmarsh? Mercenaries?
Yeah.
Can I insight check that?
Sure.
I mean, is this guy like an assassin or something that I should know?
The
that?
assassin
Has,
in
like,
full plate.
the mark of assassins on his chest that I'm just oblivious
Sure.
to or something. He said it so sarcastically. Yeah, that's a wildly good. That's a 25 insight check.
You're pretty sure that he is indeed a mercenary.
Oh, well, that's interesting. We're kind of mercenaries ourselves. I guess. I mean,
Really?
People probably definitely think we're mercenaries now, but mostly been doing it trying to just help the city. You know, these good folks don't perish to fishy doom.
Looks around at you guys, and you just kind of see a bit of a Ah, y'all are the folks that assassinated that man in the jail cell.
Well, it wasn't really no assassination.
Oh.
He was
Ordained
outside the jail
execution.
cell when I stabbed him.
Right.
It
Two
wasn't
fatalities.
exactly sanctioned.
There's a lot of miscommunication and rumor mongering going around about that whole thing. It ain't like how people are making it out to be. I mean,
I'm sure.
I'm sure you didn't hear that we're the people who put him in the jail cell in the first place. So
Mm. And having closed in on these guys, I will say, y'all don't know jack or shit about Dragonborn, so it just looks like a giant golden lizard folk, as far as y'all are concerned. Big,
That's what he is. Big,
well
big golden lizard folk.
muscled. As opposed to the hobgoblin, doesn't appear to be really wearing any armor. Like I said, just has some like hides and leathers and stuff as clothing. The hobgoblin wearing full plate, similar to Jakob's, except it looks probably seen more use than Jakob's has. He's probably had it for a bit longer. Of Jakob, you would notice at least an amateur blacksmith yourself. That is well made. But definitely seen a lot of use and has also been very well maintained. And definitely looks like he's been around long enough to have put the wear on it, as he looks a little older. Definitely like scars kind of going up, like in several places across his face, kind of one going over across the top of his eye, without actually harming the eye itself. And hair, where a lot of the hobgoblins y'all have seen have had them pulled back in like tails or in top knots or whatever, he has like a close, very closely shorn kind of crew cut thing going on, with pretty heavily salt and peppered.
Well, we're about to head out to do some surveillance on the Swahagan. Sorry. We're about to do some surveillance on the Swahagan. I'm sorry, I can't remember what the word is.
Home base, turf,
Yeah.
fortress, whatever you prefer.
Thank you.
That big brain dead
And
moment.
You're good.
yeah,
I'm gonna kick Jakob under the table.
and well, why'd you kick me, Glue?
Apparently somebody needs a room
I'm
for
just gonna
tonight.
give you a wild look, like
Oh, but he's a lizard folk. He obviously knows where their old home was. Just gonna ask him where it was.
The Dragonborn immediately starts to rise out of their chair, and the hobgoblin, Krenna, sit. I don't think he
Did
meant
I
any
say something
offense.
offensive? I do apologize.
Lizard begins to looks kind of like they were getting ready to bow up, but begins to sit and just kind of hisses at you. Most Dragonborn don't appreciate being called lizard folk.
Never heard of them before. Where they at?
Here and there, presumably.
Julian's just like, interesting. New type of people. Run into them all the time these days.
Dragonborn is now kind of squinting at the table in general, just looking around. Now, and the hobgoblin looks over to Gloob. We're not spies for the Swahagan. No interest in them, don't worry.
insight check.
Sure, roll an insight check.
Do I believe?
Sure, go ahead and roll. Dang.
8.
You find hobgoblins just as hard to read as humans, I guess. The momentary, like epiphany you had when speaking to Zendros just didn't seem to stick.
y'all been on many missions then?
Quite a few. I believe we actually have a lot of you to thank for our employment at this time.
Oh yeah, how's that?
Julian gives a gracious nod with a very serious look on his face.
I believe the shark-faced one among you didn't make too well of friends with our employer, Mr. Drallian. He decided he wanted to get some muscle to keep his home safe.
Oh,
Wise.
Ah, indeed. And he pays well. So we are happy to do the
True.
work.
You have Skype notifications on.
Oh, son of a gun.
Just open the chat. It should.
Yeah,
start.
that's what I just did. I forgot to do it earlier.
Yeah, it's not just Hagen that we're worried about. There's
Ah,
a couple of people out there that we need to worry about. Just look back to Jakob. So
well. If they want you bad enough to pay, then by all means. But I'm not being paid for you right now.
Right.
Insight check.
Yeah, roll an insight check for me. Gosh darn it.
You
Son of
know,
a bitch.
Gloob's strong point is the insight checks.
Hey,
Jones will burn a feet on it one day. He'll get proficiency and expertise all in the same feat.
16.
16? As far as you can tell, seems to be telling the truth. He just seems way too relaxed about it to be lying, as far as you can tell.
So y'all are in town on guard duty in
Mhm.
case Wahagan come in and tear up the whole lot.
Or if certain individuals who don't seem to want to mind their own business come poking around again. Sure.
Like we have trembles of people poking their nose around places.
He just looks at you and just, your friend threatened bodily harm upon my employer. That is why we are here.
Oh hell! All right, now I get it. Okay, I understand.
And he just looks at you like
About.
not like very just kind of like he's really just laying it out in front of you.
Wait, I thought I threatened him like last session.
Aubrek Drallian?
No, this is no.
Oh.
You threatened Drallian.
Yeah.
You
But
threatened
after
Drallian a
you
while
get back
ago
from
at
the
this point
Yeah,
in
yeah.
time.
I
Yes.
got
Yeah.
NPCs mixed up. My bad.
Yep. This was not Firebrand. No. It's not,
Yeah.
They were
I'm
not hired
tracking
by
now. I
Firebrand.
got
Yeah.
topsy-turvy.
I'm just going to just as he says this, just look over at Julian, just kind of just shake my head.
I will wink at Jakob.
Ugh. Sharky wink.
Yeah, that whole thing mostly just a misunderstanding. Sorry I had to get so paranoid about it, but hey, I guess it got y'all a job, so you know, have a sip of a drink towards that. You're welcome.
Thank
We
you.
don't mean him no harm though. So you got an easy job from here on out. Well, you know, unless this
Wonderful.
Wahagan comes.
So Hagen come, we'll remove him from town and do our job.
Julian will tip his mug at the bodyguards hired to protect them from him.
He just kind of shrugs at you. I'll take a cushy job in some backwater town for the pay we're getting. Worth it.
Y'all two look like y'all seen a whole lot of action over the years. I mean, probably want something better than just sitting around on guard duty all day.
For the right pay, sure.
Hard to beat the kind of gig they got right now.
Yeah, I reckon.
I spent enough of my life fighting to not be really interested in chasing glory for glory's sake.
I think we skipped past one of the most important parts of this. And what's a dragonborn?
Dragonborn turns to you, Gloop. I am a dragonborn tiny frog. Just kind of like leaning down. This dragonborn is it. How tall are you, Gloop? Out of curiosity.
Like 3'8".
3'8". Yeah, this dragonborn is at least 4 feet taller than you, and just hunches down over.
I am sorry about that, Miss. Miss. I can't
Right,
think
yeah.
of words tonight.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, we all share the sentiment. We're just red in the face of the whole situation. I mean, you know, I've never seen a dragon. I've heard of your folk before, but just never seen them. And I mean, from our perspective, it's a whole lot more common to see a lizard folk in town than a dragonborn. And honest mistake. Apologize greatly.
Don't feel like my question was answered. But okay.
I've been learning a great deal about many new peoples lately, but you know, backwater town.
Indeed. Don't hold it against them. We can't afford to. Or we can afford to, but I'd really rather not lose this job over you not being able to keep your cool, Krenna. So sit down. She does.
Yeah. Nobody here wants a fight. I mean, that just wouldn't be right.
Wait, are they both drinking as well as eating, or just eating?
Yeah, they seem to have mugs of like ale that they're just kind of sipping on.
The next time the waitress or bartender, whatever, come by, Julian will.
Can I get a couple of mugs of your better ale? By way of apology.
Like, that gesture wasn't at the hobgoblin, but more directed at the dragon folk.
Dragon folk. We're mixing them now.
Dragon folk.
Dragon folk.
Dragon folk. Those are
What are you,
kobolds.
some type of dragon folk?
Good thing that was Cody saying that,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Julian.
But sure, and they take it, the dragonborn just kind of exhales with a little bit of, looks like maybe a couple of lines of smoke coming out the end of her nose.
DM, can I roll a history check? I guess it would be history or arcana or something to see if I know what a dragon is. I don't know if Gloop has
Y'all have
any reason.
seen
You've
one,
seen a dragon.
so y'all have seen a dragon.
I just don't know.
Yeah, y'all
That-
saw a
right.
dragon while y'all were out on the
I guess.
boat, or on your
I guess
return.
probably had a conversation with you guys. I just don't know if I would have had any context before.
Sure. I mean, you can roll if you would like. I mean, they wouldn't be completely foreign to you, being from the Hull Marshes.
Right. I think the
What was your roll?
5.
5?
Yes.
I will just say, kind of as a gimme, like, you don't have a ton of context, but you know, it was kind of explained to you what that very large, shiny lizard that everybody was very frightened of when y'all saw it on the boat was. It was explained to you that it could murder many, many people.
Now Gloop's just got more questions. That's the problem.
Go for it.
Yeah, do what y'all want. They're just kind of sitting there, just kind of the hobgoblin kind of just silent while the dragonborn vaguely irritated, but is not doing anything about it due to the command of the hobgoblin.
Hey, when did y'all say y'all got to town?
It's probably been about a week,
Oh, okay, all right.
I imagine.
Well, I mean, how's things been around town? Because we've been, out since the assassination, and we just didn't know how things been doing around here. Firebrand's leaving to go to the front
Really?
lines. Just
Interesting.
didn't know. Seems like things have been a little mixed up around town. Didn't know if you had a different perspective from outsiders looking in, so to speak.
Seems like a town under siege, if you ask me.
Yep.
While back, looks like they got it bad from the Sahuagin. Quite a bit of wounded, quite a bit of dead came back.
So we saw, right as we arrived.
Really? Well, that's how things seem to be going from the way I see it. Not enough to make them lose, but definitely bled them a little bit.
Those reinforcements from the fort will be much needed.
Ah. I'm sure those will be welcome.
I believe we haven't been introduced to you. What is your name?
Oh. Where are my manners? I'm Grelmark Standard Breaker. And this, my companion, is Krenna of the Dardau clan. And she does not seem want to speak at this time.
I'm gonna get those spellings from you later.
That's fine. I could just put them in Skype for you guys.
Feeling disrespected can do that per a person. I understand.
I'm definitely learning a lot about not being careful about what I say to people. So
A valuable skill, I've found, but not always necessary.
Might as well call her a wench.
Well,
That
that's
would
just-
not have gone over well, I can assure you.
I'm just like, but don't. What we said, we
Ah,
might as well have. Not say.
Maybe.
Oh, I'm just.
Yeah,
bad
that
at
was,
it.
that was just a joke. And
Mm,
we're all friends here.
Maybe a strong word.
Well, maybe it's pretty easy word for me.
Sure.
Well, you got any interesting war stories or anything like that you want to share?
Not particularly.
All right.
What about where you heard the rumors of the assassination from?
Around town. By the time we got here, people didn't have a lot to talk about, aside from that things suck right now. And the fact that apparently y'all killed a man in cold blood. Always
Who specifically?
exciting.
Who's the first one to drop that news on you?
I couldn't tell you. Some random citizen when we came into town. I wasn't exactly seeking out the information. It was just being discussed.
Yeah, so I didn't know if that was part of your job, being attentive to detail.
I mean, outside of knowing that y'all were gone, and if y'all are not currently a threat to my employer, I don't particularly care.
Leans over to Gloob.
Probably more interested in me specifically.
So,
I don't know. I mean, it really depends on how much they heard. They'd probably be more afraid of Jakub if, some of them stories got back to town. I'll just make like a gesture of a guy coming in half.
You give kind of a.
I can assure you that we don't. The majority of the party intend no harm against your employer. Of course, you don't need to tell them that because you want to keep this job as long as possible.
Vigorous nodding.
But we won't be going after him or going after you.
I'd be surprised if he believed me anyway.
Well, keep your money, gents, but we probably have other places to be.
Looking over at Bart.
I'm sure. Well, good luck.
To easy jobs.
And he will put down the rest of his mug.
He just stands up. But we have places to be as well. Walks away, leaving the bar. Krenna getting up and following him.
Well, looks like we made friends and made friends of those friends.
Well, we're probably going to have to do some more subtle prodding if you want to find out where that started.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really think that bodyguards are the people who might have been responsible for the rumor starting, or folks aligned with them are probably going to be the people who be like, "Oh yeah, sure was. Here's a reason to be antagonistic against my employer."
I will say, people, if we start trying to chase down the origins of the rumor, people are going to look at it suspiciously, as if we're trying to go after the person who's spreading the information and harm them.
Well, that's why you don't ask directly.
I don't know. I mean, if it's a concern to you, we can try to take it we can try to take it more subtly. It don't really bother me much. I mean, people look at me funny. Oh well. I know what I've been doing is keeping them alive and breathing, so it's not really that big of a deal. I didn't really start going out and doing this kind of thing to be heralded as a hero and have people, toasting my name and all that kind of thing. But if we're trying to keep reputations up, I mean, this whole thing has been kind of an attack on the establishment or the crownsfolk in town, you know, making sure that Eleander ain't gonna have a job after all this is said, which that's terrible for Eleander, and I wish I could make it different for him, but
Yeah, he's a good man. He doesn't deserve that.
right, fish to fry on another day, if you ask me.
Yeah,
We find out who's starting the rumors, get them to stop, maybe help us out a little bit, and get back to getting Saltmarsh on track to defend itself. Whether that makes us look suspicious or villains or whatever, I'm fine with that. You just got to get this over with, so we can get back to going to that den of Swahagi, finding out exactly where it's at.
I agree.
Shall we retire to the boat soon?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
Bartholomew's like, yeah, okay. It's just like, going to the boat already? Already?
what time is it?
At this point,
Bart just doesn't
after
want to be on the boat.
after you telling your trying to tell your story and stuff, and eating in your conversation with those two, probably closing on 9 o'clock, because it was already after 7 by the time y'all got here, and yeah. So
Yeah.
y'all
Boat
are
sounds
returning to the boat. All right. So wrapping up your meal, exit, and begin making your way towards the boat. Easily enough getting there.
You said that like you were going to get jumped in the street or something. I was like, oh.
By the way, how much were those 2 expensive ales for the Dragonborn Hobgoblin?
Expensive is a very strong word.
Well, expensive for ale.
We'll say as a silver a piece, so 2 silver for those 2 ales.
Well,
Each one of those ales was worth an entire month of board for a horse.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that's some bougie ass.
Hey man, I'm just making up numbers. Fight me. I'll make it more expensive if you want. 2 silver per horse. Fuck gold. A gold for
God dang.
my kingdom for a horse.
Well, gentlemen, I think unfortunately, I think we're gonna have to keep a guard running for the boat, because we don't know what's been said and we don't know what people are gonna do if mob forms to try to kick us out of town because we're the the crown's lackeys or their hitmen, they don't want that us here anymore. We should probably know before we get woken up in bed with people standing over us with pitchforks and torches and whatnot.
I think people are more scared than they are angry.
I mean, if you feel particularly inclined, you might. I mean, we can do that. I didn't think it would be that bad to be something that would come on to that degree or anything like that.
More importantly, and more likely, it is not the people at large that I think would be a threat, but whoever started these rumors. I may not like Firebrand or what he stands for, but this is some kind of subversion if they're turning us in with him.
I'll take my watch.
I'll stick watch.
Okay. So is everybody gonna take a watch this evening?
Yeah, we'll go standard watch.
All right.
Well, does Miss Ella come with us back to the
Nah,
ship?
it looks like Ella got a room at the snapping line.
Yeah, she was like, fuck that.
She's gonna sleep in a real bed in a real building.
Yeah, that's.
That sounds
And
nice.
Bart's like, damn it.
That sounds nice.
If Gloop's insight wasn't so historically shitty, I would probably say something like, Bart, stay back here, but Gloop's probably just oblivious to the fact that you want to stay.
It's kind of fucked up that Bart's dreading more going on a sea voyage than actually getting to the shore and fighting the Swahagin.
Combat, that's all right. Long trip on a boat? Hell no.
Sir Rolly, I guess, isn't so good with seasickness.
Oh, poor guy. What are
I'll
the
take the
seasickness
first watch.
pills? Gotta get some of
I've
those.
got some thinking to do.
Yeah, I'll take the last watch. We can get a good old get a nice hearty breakfast going. Pull out all the bells and whistles for what we got left here, and I'll keep the door open in case people start trying to set the place on fire.
Second or third watch, Jakob?
I'll take third.
I'll take second then.
All right. So, I guess we'll do this one at a time. So, where are y'all sleeping on the ship?
I've long since lost the picture you sent.
That's fine. I mean, you have crew. There are crew quarters below.
I
In a
think
crew quarter.
There's the crew quarters. There's captain's court. There was like a captain's quarters. There was the quarter that the maid resided in, as well as where the first mate and the bosun had, kind of in nicer order and descending from there. And then just a general crew's quarters that was like a bunch of cots and stuff.
You do have your barrel there, Gloop.
Yeah, I was thinking I had it in the captain's quarters or the first mate's room, if I'm not mistaken. One of those two. It was on the top deck.
If it was on the top deck, then that was either the captain's quarters or the mage's quarters. The
So
first mate and the bosun were down below.
I'll take the smallest room closest to the galley. However, the logistics of that work out.
Well, unfortunately, the way that works out is you have the quarters of that were the individual quarters on this end of the boat, and then you have the galley, and below that was where the like crew quarters and stuff were.
Wasn't there like a cot room where the lizard folk were staying?
Oh yeah, that was also up above. So there's probably a few beds, and like I say beds, air quotes. It's the hammocks.
Hammock.
Yeah, I'll have a hammock. I'm gonna be swaying back and forth anyway.
Damn.
If Julian isn't taking the first mate's quarters or wherever Gloob isn't, I'm gonna sleep in that room.
Okay, so you're in one of the downstairs rooms, all right?
Sorry, just the way wherever Gloob isn't, yeah, that's where I'll be.
God dang.
So do I have Jakob and Gloober in downstairs rooms? Bart is in an upstairs room, and where's Julian? Where
I'm
will
in an
you?
upstairs room. I was top
Oh,
deck.
so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gloob and Bart are in upstairs rooms. Jakob is in a downstairs room. Julian,
Luke
where
took
would
the
you like?
captain's quarters, right?
Either the captain's or the wizard.
Or the mages. I can't remember which one.
Is one of the two. There's not a ton of difference. Just the captain's quarters was a little nicer.
Literally, after the other has picked, he will just take the closest room.
Define closest. Do you want to be on the top or the bottom? You got this. Gotta choose. Unless you're
Lower.
bunking up with somebody, which I mean you could do that as well.
Yeah, lower.
Okay, so Julian Jakob down below, Bart and Gloob up top, but on opposite sides of the ship. Okay, cool beans. So y'all all make your way towards your rests. Julian taking the first watch. Julian, where are you taking your watch from?
This had a. Where the fuck did my dice go? This had a crow's nest, right?
It did.
He'll be taking his watch from the crow's nest, and also, after the others have gone to bed, he's going to do a little project.
Do tell.
We are going to be summoning the predatory spirits of a podunk town to.
Interesting.
I've got the find familiar open. I'm like, what here is
It's
what out of this list is predatory?
particularly aggressive raccoon.
Larry the meth head.
I got.
Symbols.
I think all I got is 2 house cats and an owl for the.
Okay. So
That's
those
what I'm gonna
last
go
for
with.
an hour.
Yep, and we are going to start scouting out, listening to rumors at bars and alleys.
It is 9 p.m.
Yeah, I figure the bars where all the soldiers are staying and
Sure.
all
So
that. So
there are only a
Around-
couple of other bars aside from the Snapping Line. I unfortunately can't think of their names off the top of my head. I'll look them up here shortly. One of them is the one that's kind of like the guards hang out, which is, closer to that end of town, and the other is
you said it was really seedy, I think.
yeah, there is another one that's kind of very seedy. That's where the less well-to-do merchants and other sailors and the like make
we'll
their,
send
tend to be.
1 house cat to the other 2, and then the owl to the snapping lion, and have them kind of lurk around for the hours of my watch.
Okay. They last for 1 hour, so you would have to recast it if you wanted them to be around for both. Just so you know.
I'll keep 1, so we'll do 1 hour.
Okay, so we'll do it for half the watch.
And I'll do it right in the
Town isn't
right at the
giant,
beginning.
and they can go out to how far, and you still be able to communicate with them?
A mile.
A mile? Okay. I'll say you can. Trying to think of in regards to where y'all are. You should be able to communicate with this. We'll just say sure. We'll hand wave it for now. I don't feel like trying to measure it.
He'll kind of rotate through, fully manifesting
Sure.
through them, so he can.
So the owl is going to the snapping line, or are you trying to send the 2 cats to the other 2 bars?
Yeah, because I figured the owl will be the most conspicuous, but we've already been to the snapping lion. So.
Are you trying to get the owl into the snapping line?
No, just close enough
Okay.
where it could hear
Just
through a
like-
window or whatever.
Okay. And the 2 cats. What are
Yes.
you doing with them exactly?
Just eavesdropping if they can. If they can get inside and be left alone, great. But if it's like get out of here, hit it with a broom thing, they'll just lurk outside near a window or something.
Would they try to sneak in, or would you just
No,
not
they're
even risk
cats.
it?
They're going in trying to
Yeah.
get some dropped food or whatever it is that cats do in bars.
Yeah, they get shooed.
Okay, like I said, then out near a window or something.
Okay, roll perception checks for all 3 at disadvantage.
Oh shit, forgot the bonus for the owl.
And this is not getting the advantage because this is
Yeah, no, this was a straight
Listening,
roll. I
yeah.
just rolled once for the owl.
does it have keen hearing as well as keen sight?
Yes,
Okay.
keen hearing and sight.
All right.
That'll be a 22 for the owl.
Okay.
I don't think cats have any kind of advantage, so that will be at disadvantage.
They do not. They don't even have dark vision.
Good God. They got keen smell. Do they smell anything suspicious?
So those are both at disadvantage.
That'll be and they only have a plus Oh, that's the same +3. So that'll be a 16 for one owl, or for the one cat.
Okay.
I'll say that's the one at the guard's place.
Sure.
They 14 for the one at the CD place.
Okay.
So can't win them all, I guess.
All right. So there's a 16 and a 15, you said?
14.
14, 16 and a 14. So the owl, I mean, you're listening, you're trying to listen to like rumors and stuff.
Yeah, I'm basically trying to do what we were doing earlier, surreptitiously try and gather, like, see if anyone is intentionally trying to spread stuff about us or about the whole situation, or anything about anyone trying to down-talk Firebrand more than usual, anyone talking like me, so on and so forth.
I mean, so you don't hear anything that sounds anything along the lines of anybody trying to actively spread rumors about you. I'll say with the 22, at the snapping line, it's nothing crazy. Mostly it's people kind of bitching. A few people comment on the fact that y'all are back, but nothing that seems to be particularly subversive, other than some grumblings and stuff like that. Hannah seems to keep a tight rein on the rumor mill, at the very least when it could be harmful.
Right.
At the guardsman's place, they don't really seem to be discussing it at all. That's with the 16. You don't hear a ton. You gather like a little bit of, that they know that that most of them are about to be leaving. But no real details. Just some mumblings of leaving soon or moving out soon, stuff like that. And at the last place with a 14, you don't hear much of anything. It's very much it's through the windows / wall, and that you're just kind of getting in bits and pieces as the door opens and closes. And the thing is that with the amount of other conversation going on, you're unable to really weed out anything useful, because there are other conversations going on. Like with the 22 with the owl, there's a lot of things being discussed, and you were able to pick that out because of how high you rolled for the owl. But with the cat, you just can't seem to make out anything.
Very well.
And lastly, your the perception check for your watch, unless you're just not paying attention while you're up there, which I mean, in case by all means.
And that'll be a blistering 12.
A 12. Okay. From up on your perch, which...
And I would have been hidden as well. So
Okay.
do I need to roll for that?
Sure, roll a stealth check for me.
Ooh, much better. I wish that would have been my fucking perception check.
Y'all also aren't in a tavern anymore.
That'll be another 22.
All right, another 22. Very nice. You feel quite hidden. But with your 12, it's one of those where being all the way up in the crow's nest, it's actually, even though you have a dark vision of 60 foot, that only goes 60 feet and you're about 50 feet in the air. A little over that, actually. So looking out past that, you're still having a little bit of a hard time seeing out, but you don't seem to notice anything amiss necessarily while during the parts of your watch that are not being spent viewing things through your animals.
Mostly would have been focused on like the gangplank or anyone
Right.
with torches walking on the.
Even so, that means you're getting just down to the very edge of the ship with your 60 feet of dark vision. So you may be able to see them possibly if they just walked right along the gangplank, but probably wouldn't see them coming before then.
Right.
So
Coolio. All right. That's my watch.
you go down, and who was it that was taking second? Was that Gloob? Or was
Yes.
that Jakob? One of the two. Okay.
Gloob.
Gloob. You are woken from your rest.
Kind of knock on the barrel. Talk, 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 talk.
Cool. Now time already.
Unfortunately.
Lift himself out of the bucket and
Nothing particularly to report.
Okay. All right.
And with a sleepy nod, he will head off to his own hammock.
All right.
Gloob is gonna head to the kitchen first and foremost, to the galley.
Sure.
Gonna look around in there, and if there's any good food or anything, I'm gonna try to make like a midnight snack.
Roll an investigation check for me.
Oh yeah, this is +1,
Y'all been gone for like 2 weeks.
+0. 19. Fuck. Should have saved that.
I mean, you find some bits and bobs of some things that were left after y'all had left. Little like some stale bread and some dried meat. So
That'll work. I'll take the dry meat, not the bread.
Alright.
Take it and just kind of like probably just. Hopefully my acrobatics is good enough to do this without making rolls, but if I need to roll, it will. Just like standing up on the what would you call it? Like the
railing
edge of the ship. Yeah, like the railing, if it's wide enough. And just sort of like walking around on that thinking and just like eating on my meat stick or whatever. And
your schnitzel.
Yeah. I guess
A dried schnitzel on the ship. Nice.
I'll roll perception.
Sure. I'm assuming you're wearing your goggles.
Yes. Yeah. +4. Natural 20. +4 for 24.
Good.
Very nice. Okay. So at this point, your watch coming around somewhere along. You were gotten up somewhere around closing on midnight. With a natural 20, as you're kind of and you're just walking around the railing.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you're walking around the railing, probably closer to midnight, maybe a little after. As you're walking around, you do spot, you see a cluster of about like 3 people. It looks like that they start to make their way down the holy shit, the pier or whatever the fuck, god damn it, that would be leading to y'all's ship. The dock, that thing, that would be having your ship on it. But after like 3 steps down it, they see you just walking around and turn and scuttle away.
They scuttle away?
Like they scurry. They hurry. No, they're bug people. I went ahead and added. I went ahead and made some Thrycreen NPCs to fuck with y'all. You know, I figured I would, cause why not?
He said immediately.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like how they were like. Did they stop and then like full on bolt?
They don't like sprint away, but they notice you, and they notice you noticing them, and they all turn and just kind of like they hurry off. They don't like start fucking Usain bolting it, but they start hustling away from you.
I think Gloob would though.
Gloob would what?
Follow.
You're gonna try to follow him?
Yeah, he'd Usain Bolt after them. I'm faster than them, almost guaranteed.
They are like they're about 100 feet away from you when you start trying to run from them. Yeah, I'll say they got like a round, air quotes, not even a full round, but like they had already started moving back away, and y'all are a little farther ways down the dock because you're a bigger boat. So are you trying to follow them or not?
I could. Do I think that I would be able to catch them?
I mean,
I got a 75-foot.
I mean, you'd catch up eventually. It would take you a little bit. Like you'd probably make it a ways away from the dock and the ship. With their distance that they've got on you, it would take you not like minutes, but it would probably take you a handful of rounds to catch all the way up with them. I'd say actually more than a handful because they'd be moving 60 feet, whereas you'd be moving 75. So you would slowly gain on them. So it actually would take a little bit.
Wait, I thought you said they weren't running.
They weren't sprinting. He's not, unless he's trying to hide, and in which case he wouldn't be moving 75 feet around. They would notice him. Is if he starts hauling froggy ass, he'd probably get like 75 feet and they would move 30, and then they would notice him, and there would be 75, 60, 75, 60, 75, 60.
Gotcha.
Just for mechanical understanding.
I think Gloob is reckless enough. I am going to get the earpiece, and I'm going to say, Julian, someone's scoping out the boat. I'm going to go ask some questions, and then fucking 15-foot horizontal jump onto the dock and haul ass after them.
Okay.
Wait, what? Hold on. What? He's like coming out of his barely been asleep doze for like an hour or so.
Slap, 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 slap.
Yep.
Except you don't slap actually because you got your boots elven kind. You don't have to listen to that
It's
anymore.
a mental. I say
like
it out.
mental
loud
slap.
to
Whisk,
them.
whisk, 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 whisk. It's like one of those like little travel brooms, just.
All right. So
But yeah, just kind of like, wait, hold up, what?
he is
Keep looking
already
at the boat.
booking it.
Gonna go ask them why.
Oh fuck! All right,
Wake everybody up.
Kind of roll out of bed and stumble sleepily over to wake up the others.
All right. So as you're running, they notice you pretty quickly, I'm gonna say, and so as you start hauling ass down, and they like you see they're kind of looking over their shoulder, and they see you, and they fucking start booking it, and you see like a couple of like as they do, they just kind of toss off to the side what looks like some buckets, like a couple of buckets and stuff that splash down to that, and as you pass them appear to be buckets of paint. As you start to run after them, are you just gonna keep chasing them all the way down? So we'll do a vague skill challenge of this because they are gonna be trying to get away from you.
I'll do this at disadvantage, but I think I want to do an insight check. Am I getting the sense that these guys they were here to just like paint something on the side of the boat, like paint murderer or something on the side of the boat?
Roll an
I'll do it
insight
this-
check for me.
Okay, I'm gonna do it at disadvantage because I don't
Sure.
think Lou would know that. That is, I shit you not, that is 2 natural 17s plus 0.
Nice.
Just a natural 17.
Seems likely. And I'll say, but combined with the fact that you had a natural 20 before on your perception check, none of them appear to be armed or armored.
Gotcha.
They were like hooded and cloaked to conceal their features, but none of them looked like combatants.
How old are they?
He was like they were on the very fringes of his dark vision. I'll say he, even with the natural 20, he wasn't able to make out details of their face.
Yeah, that's fair.
What about height though? Did
They looked
have,
adult-ish.
Adult.
They looked between like
Everybody's taller than me.
they
Doesn't
looked
matter,
average.
dog.
They looked like average humanoid height between like 5'6" and 6 foot.
Oh yeah, that's true. Even if we ask Glue, we'd be like, well.
They were all very
I mean-
tall.
Exactly. Glue kind of putting that together, I guess. We'll stop. False alarm, Julian. Don't wake everybody up. It's
Did you
just,
get to me in time?
I'll say that took you about it took him about 2 rounds to actually come up on the buckets where they had been thrown and see that there was paint on the ground. So it depends on how rapidly you were trying to wake everybody up, Julian.
High or low?
That's up to you, dog. Or I guess.
I'm
Oh,
asking
I'm
the-
saying
I'm
always
asking
high,
Glue.
dog. Come on, Gloob, say it.
All right. I will say I got a hand on Jakob's shoulder. I do not know if that will have woken him up or not.
Let's find out.
He has
It's
a
like,
he has a pretty low passive perception, so
It does not wake me up.
I'm glad you're so ready for trouble.
Just like was about to start shaking, like hand on the shoulder, and then it was like, okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad day when y'all actually get ambushed like that because it takes like 10 minutes to put on heavy armor.
And with like kind of a just woken up grumpy sigh, walk back to my hammock and go back to sleep.
I'll also say, like, because I know I said this before to clarify, there are still guards about, but it looks like a lot of them are patrolling, and it looks like they timed it to try to come to make their way up the dock as like the guard had been on a different area during his rounds. Just make sure that people didn't think I forgot that there were guards. Like, they're patrolling guards. So. All right. So you make your way. You just make your way back.
Yeah, we will just dejectedly walk back to the boat.
So yeah. All
Get
right.
the rest of his watch.
Turns out Yakin was awake the whole time and thought this was the moment that Julian's gonna make his move.
All right.
He just walks up to him in the middle of the night, grabs his shoulder, and then leaves.
I just have the spear of lightning. I'm just cuddling it. Like, go ahead, go ahead.
Do it. All right. So you wrap up your watch, Gloob, and then Jacob, you were third.
Yep.
That's a disadvantage, baby, because you can't see in the dark. Unless you light a torch or something, in which case you'll have a little bit of help.
Well, I rolled a 7 and an 8, so it's gonna be 11.
Nice.
He basically has to like straddle the fucking gangplank.
And out of curiosity, where are you taking your watch from?
I'd be sitting or standing at the only way onto the boat.
So you're just
Unless
hanging out
someone's
right
climbing
at the
up.
gangplank?
Mhm.
Okay.
Just kind of like, yeah, this is guarded.
With an 11, you don't see anybody. You don't seem to notice anybody coming or going. You see you see the patrolling guardsmen every now and then. You really don't see the guardsmen themselves. Actually, you mostly just see their lanterns. Like you see the lights kind of moving along a couple of the docks and along the dockside and stuff. But
I would pop a torch. Just
You would?
for increased visibility for other people to see me.
right. And I mean it helps you see for like 20 feet because torches actually don't go that far apparently. So out past that, so you're able to see like the gangplank and what's immediately on the other side of it pretty well. After that, not so much.
It'd be 2 torches because apparently torches only burn for an hour.
Oof. But your watch does pass without incident.
Okay.
Waking up Bart for the last one.
I will be taking my watch from the kitchen with the door open.
Okay. All right. That's
And Bart doesn't
Okay.
believe that anything's going to happen to the boat.
sure.
He'll let people know if somebody tosses like a Molotov cocktail on the deck or something like that. That's basically what the extreme thing that he's worried about.
How much HP do y'all think a boat has? Like
If it
the
gets
whole
torched,
thing at once.
I have no idea.
Anywhere from
y'all think-
250 to 500.
Y'all think it has 40d6 worth of HP?
Hopefully
Just a thought
shoot a
project.
cruise missile at it.
I was thinking more, meteor swarm, but Just something that occurred to me.
Meteor swarm, I don't think it's really gonna matter whether or not I was blind to watch or not, because they're going to fucking kill me outright.
Anywho, sorry, my apologies. I will say, since you're in the kitchen and you're kind of like, all you got is the door, this is like a hearing-based one, so this will be a straight roll.
Oh, okay.
Oh wait, no, your Sentinel Shield gives you advantage, period. It's not just on sight, so sure, you still get advantage. But it's a hearing-based check for the most part.
I was gonna. Sure. Okay.
Just roll it. Roll the damn dice. Roll the
19
d20s.
total.
19? Alright. Alright, and is there anything you're doing while you hang out in the kitchen, out of
I'm
curiosity?
cooking.
You're just cooking it up?
I'm getting all the food ready that is
Okay.
going to be good and figuring out what they cook. and
There's
then
not
I'm
a
gonna-
ton that's left good on that boat. Except for
Well-
things that were, like, preserved.
Then the preserved things will be made into an amazing meal because I rolled my cooking earlier and got a natural 20, so it's going to be the best thing ever.
Wow.
You said you had some schnitzel, so we got some sausages on here. We're going to have some wild breakfast, okay?
It's like dried sausages, though. Like, they are
I
preserved.
can make it work.
Okay, sure. By all means, I'm not discouraging you. I'll say there's between the things that you've got on there, like you even take the stale bread with a natural 20 and you use some like soup broth to kind of soften it up and make it like reasonably edible. And throughout your watch, you are able to make while the ingredients used, it doesn't make sense, it looks incredibly appetizing. by the time you are finished. And with your 19 perception check, you're just kind of keeping an ear out as you're doing your thing, and you're like, yeah, I knew it. As nothing really seems to accost you guys in the night. But as the sun begins to rise on the party, the rest of you, I imagine, at some point come to wakefulness, and my goodness, it smells like there's food cooking somewhere.
Yeah, I'll wake all the fellas up and find them to come eat some food.
Julian will groggily drag himself towards the galley or wherever we're eating.
I will bring whatever weird broth that I had. I will bring some of it in a ladle and just to waft it in front of Julian's face so that he wakes up quicker.
Takes no time if it's food related.
Bites through the ladle.
My
you know,
God.
I never thought about Julian having a natural bite attack. Do you actually have a natural bite? Okay.
That is purely flavor script.
Gotcha. Okay.
He's actually got braces.
Who are we supposed to report back to if we go to this place?
I don't know. I reckon just the council. Also, I mean, we didn't get paid for the last job, and I mean, I don't know who's technically sending us off to do this one. So there's been no price agreed upon, but it needs to get done.
We might just want. We might want to leave the issue of payment for the last job. Maybe just leave it. Because it does make us look better. We did it out of the kindness of our hearts to go there, risk our lives for the fine folk of Saltmarsh, and we did all of it without getting paid.
Sure.
And I do have to make one stop on the way because I had something made.
Huh? What?
I got a bathtub made, like a portable bathtub made for Gloop, so we don't have to worry as much for, like a river. I was hoping that Zindros would have one of those water skins of water that she's talking about a while back, but it looks like we're out of luck.
Yeah.
Well, that's still probably going to come in handy, That way, in the middle of the night or something, if I put our dome up, we can go get some water and just bring it to us rather than Gloom having to be out there in potential danger.
Yeah.
So that's good thinking.
Yeah, thanks again, Jakob.
Of course.
Not do we have to do this?
Find out where do this mission.
Yeah. This isn't our war.
It's mine.
I mean,
It's mine.
there's people dying.
But you don't have to do anything, Glue. You're obviously welcome. And
I don't know. The town is well. As much as we're on the town side, it doesn't seem like the town is on our side that much.
what about people like Hannah?
Hannah was
She
also
seems-
looking at us weird. Like we're some sort of.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't been around. These rumors have been going around. I don't think it's hard to completely block those things out when somebody's saying, yeah, they obviously did this. They're monsters. They're beasts. When you have one picture in your head saying, well, I know these guys are good. They've been friendly, and then you have other people that you also trust telling you that, it can affect your image of people. And I mean, if we keep showing the people of Saltmarsh that we are good people, that we're here to help them, I don't see why at least some of them. I mean, you can't convince everybody, but some of them will change their attitudes towards us, hopefully.
Yeah, I
And
guess.
it's, yeah,
At the end of the day, they may hate me, but this is still my home and my people.
You can move homes.
We're all children to Sorololi. You're all my people. So it's not really a choice for me. It needs to be done.
and I can't risk that if Saltmarsh falls, that it doesn't embolden the Swahagan and they go after Seaton next. I can't risk that.
I mean, Seaton itself doesn't care.
Just because somebody doesn't care doesn't mean that you shouldn't help them.
People of Saltmarsh, no offense, Julian or Jacob, cause I got plenty of folk just like that, in in my own backyard, back home. But you could have a volcano explode in their backyard, they wouldn't leave. So in a lot of ways, they're kind of saving people from their own ignorance. Obviously, the right thing to do would probably be to get out of line of fire from an army of fish people. But they're not going to leave. That's their home. They want to stay there. It's what they stand for, what they fight for. And, well, I don't want them to die for their virtues. But they at least see as a virtue. It's outright stubbornness, which you could consider a virtue. Hell, I'm pretty stubborn.
Kind of holding back a little bit of a smile. Julian is just like, yes, virtue.
Okay.
What would you consider being worth fighting a war for?
I mean, we showed up to a war. Like, this is what we walked into. I don't know. Before, I guess, the last night, the world was the marsh, the forest, and here. Now, the dragon folk, dragonborn, they come from bigger places than here, better places than here. No one seems to give a shit about it. I don't know why we should.
Because no one gives a shit about it. That's why we should.
We spent a long time with no one giving a shit about this place. That's not new. But my people have continued to live here and fight for it. Politically, sometimes defending ourselves from bandits, pirates, what have you. We're still here. If everyone just up and moved, we'd be dealing with the same shit elsewhere. But this is our home.
I guess we just have different definitions of what home is.
I mean, right now my home's on a boat, and I don't even like boats, so I'd say home is wherever we camp for the night.
I do understand what you mean, Glue. My home's with my wife, and I don't know where she is. I think she's in Seedon, and if something happened to Seedon while she was there, I'm not sure that I could have another home. So, that's why I'm doing this.
Speaking of home, Julian, you ever write that other letter?
I I don't really know what to say, Bart. It's been a long time.
You can start off with that. Generally, being genuine with someone you married's the best way to let them know that you're still you.
Imagine she'll be angry.
Good. Yeah, if she wasn't angry, now you'd be in real trouble.
I suppose. I figured maybe I would just make sure she was okay with my brother, and then speak to her when all of this was said and done, and I could actually spend some time with her.
How long did it take you to logic that one out?
Couple months.
Oh, all right. So us being in a really stable situation of it being in the middle of a war, you should probably procrastinate on that one all you can, huh?
He says nothing and just continues to look sheepish. Probably the least predatory you have ever seen.
Is this your wife you're talking about?
Yes.
Oh, Julian. If I could see my wife and I could say anything to her, I'd tell her how I feel, and how much I miss her, and how it makes me in my heart feel to not know where she is, to not fall asleep next to her every night.
I don't even know if she would stay. It's been 5 years, and the last time she saw me, I didn't look like this. Smile wasn't so pretty.
All I'm saying is, if something happens, as Bart has said, we're not in exactly the safest of times. If something happens and you're not able to say what you need to say because you want to put it off, well, those things aren't ever going to get said.
So I should make her lose me twice then.
You should at least make her know you're not lost yet.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Sure. Oh boy, that's a dirty 20.
Fine. Can I have more stationery?
Yeah, we can go get some more. And just keep it on the ship for whoever
I
needs to write
will-
letters.
I will hand Julian 5 pages, a quill, and a thing of ink.
He looks at the 5 pages. He's like,
I read books, I don't write them.
Well, sometimes it's better to have a draft and then revision it, make the penmanship a little bit better.
Yeah. All right.
5 years is a lot of time to have, a bunch of spelling errors.
And who knows, when the words start flowing, you might have some more to say to her than you think. Oh, I'll leave you to write that in privacy.
Yeah.
Still looks like kind of overwhelmed at the moment. Deer in the spotlight kind of thing.
I have this mental image of Julian writing down "hey" and then Xing it out, and then like my dearest wife X's it out. He's just like crumbles it like.
Yep.
Honestly, that's
5
probably not too
pages.
far from the truth.
5 pages to get
You
the
ever-
last one. Okay.
Yeah. You ever just you guys gotta send that "you up" letter?
Damn it.
uh,
Oh my
the
god.
classic. Good stuff. Got a bunch of poets in this
That fucked me
party.
up.
Uh,
Oh
guess-
god.
I guess while Julian is getting his letter started, or looking at a piece of paper in horror.
Abject fear.
Like, I'll just, hey Glue, let's take a walk. You'll get some more paper.
Julian will
Yeah.
sullenly saunter down to his cot or hammock or whatever.
right.
I'll write that on the break.
Okay. And so just Bart and Gloob going somewhere?
Yeah, I wanted to steal Glue for a chat.
Sure.
I will be on boat to make sure that nothing happens.
I will be on boat.
Just sitting there like holding a club watching Julian write the letter like, yeah, you write the letter.
Jeez.
It's not a club.
He's
It's
got
2
the
clubs.
sword. Okay. In any case, we get down the gangplank a little way. So, Glue. I mean, do you not want to? Do you want to leave Saltmarsh?
I don't know. It's not what I thought it would be. Right.
Most places really aren't. I hate to break it to you. I've grown up in one place most of my life. Stayed there the whole time. Did very little traveling, but all the places are mostly the same. A lot of bad people, a lot of good people. And mixed feelings in the whole lot of them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just no, not quite what I thought I was signing up for.
Okay. What do you think you're signing up for?
Getting away somewhere better.
Alright. Not really sure all the details of how things were out in the swamp. But we've been through a bunch of rough things together. Doesn't look like they're going to get any softer. Times coming.
Yeah.
At least
I
we're
caught
going
a
around
couple
the-
of
Go ahead.
I caught a couple of people last night coming to our boat with some paint. I don't know.
Kids.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, Glue. There's no cure for stupid. If there's a spell I could do to undo it, the world will be a much better place.
It's not stupid. It's just mean. Right. I guess I kind of put that one on us.
No. There's some politician out there who's decided to take advantage of a situation, twist it all up around, and get people to not like us, kind of just use us up to further their future agendas. I don't know what those people might have plans for something to. They might make it out safe. They might be able to come back to the mine in a few years and make money off of it. But people like me and you and the fishermen of this town and Hannah, they don't care about them. Just need more gold in their pockets. So they can put more gold in their pockets. Hungry for power, money, whatever you want to call it. Or for themselves.
Yeah.
I assume even in the swamp, people out there just want to get some power. Be hurting other people or whatever the case may be. You vaguely alluded to.
You know, it's the way it is. Thought I was leaving that there, though. You know, people that come by and tell you stories about, you know, now that I think about it, they didn't, I think it was just me hearing what I wanted to.
Mine's got a real funny way of doing things like that sometimes. It's always hard. But sometimes things get harder and you look back on the hard times and they don't seem so hard. So
That's not as encouraging as you think it is, I feel.
it's not very encouraging. But would you rather have regret on top of that? I'm not trying to encourage you, Glue. I'm just trying to be honest with you. I'm not trying to say, hey, after this is all said and done, you're going to have a mansion. You'll be able to sail home free for the rest of your life. That's probably not going to happen. Or people probably want to remember our name. The Swahagan could win. We might not come back. To me, doing this is the right thing to do. I don't think I could spend a week or a day or a month or a year knowing that I did the wrong thing. It's not a it's a hard time, but it's not wasted, if that makes sense.
I guess so.
You just got to figure out what's right for you. I know not everyone's got the same opinion. And I'm sorry that Saltmarsh wasn't good as you hoped it would be. But if you do want some hope, if we do succeed, we do save Saltmarsh. Maybe, just maybe, a little bit of help, a little bit of luck. We might be able to turn it into something a little bit better than we found it.
Yeah.
If not, I'm sure we could always sell off someplace to Captain Zendros and have a world of adventure. Hopefully, not on a boat too damn much.
Thanks, Bart.
I don't really think I did too much. I was just trying to find out from you what you were wanting to know. Seemed sort of lost to help you out.
And just nod along.
Okay.
Alright. Glue, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me?
My rolls are on fire right now. Wisdom saving throws are +1, so dirty 20.
Okay. Alright. And as y'all can finish our walkabout and conversation, that is where we will go on break. I was about to say end the session. That's not the case. This is just the first half. Whoops, skipping. But we're going to go ahead and take our break here real quick. We'll be back here shortly to take a quick bio, refresh drinks, and all that fun stuff. And apparently, in some people's cases, write a letter to their imaginary wife, as you do. But we'll be back here shortly. Don't go anywhere. And we'll be right back. Bye. And we're back. Hello.
Hello.
Oh my goodness, I had to burp. But welcome back, everybody. Hope we're all glad to be here once again. But let's get back into things with a real quick swiftness here, with a quick brief recap of where our heroes are at right this moment. Upon returning to Saltmarsh and determining things as how they are at this time, they have proceeded to go check in with Hannah, pick up Melvin the bird, which is Gloob's parrot, if there are those who do not remember. Got a bit of a lay of the land, seeing that there is suspicion, even if not nearly as much hostile suspicion, there's still contemplation among those who are a little more well acquainted with the party. They also ran into a couple of other mercenaries, Grillnock Standardbreaker, as well as Krenna of Clan Dardau, a hobgoblin, and Golden Dragonborn, respectively, who they, after chatting with them for a short while, determined that they are currently employed as bodyguards for one Aubric Dralian, who seems to have taken Julian's threat to his personage relatively seriously and paid decently out of pocket to have competent guards around his place. Kind of they tried to weasel a little bit of information out of them about who may have been spreading the rumors, but they weren't able to get any specifics. They then returned for the evening to the boat, where for the most part it was a fairly uneventful night, aside from Gloob spotting some would-be I was about to say saboteurs, but that's not the correct word. Like scoundrels, graffiti artists, people who appeared to have some paint on their persons before they were spotted and spotted that they were spotted and ran away, dropping their utensils in the process. In the morning, they discussed some things, possibly considering why they were involving themselves in this war in the first place, and why maybe they should go somewhere else. And Bart taking Gloob out on a walk to further discuss that and see what he was wanting and where he stood, as well as encouraging Julian to write a letter specifically to his wife, instead of just checking on her through asking his brother. And that is where we will pick back up. Y'all have been on your... Oh, and also I had Gloob make a wisdom saving throw, which... undisclosed reasons, because y'all don't need to know. So, y'all have had your talk and are on your way back. Or I assume you're on your way back to the boat. What is everybody doing?
Well, we were saying that we were going to go get some...
Get some supplies?
So I assume we were going to go out and do...
Yeah. Easily enough. Same place that y'all had before. Able to swing in and get some ink and paper.
Alright. Yeah, we'll just buy some.
Alright.
That's you. We just breeze through there.
For cost. Absolutely. Easily done. So, while they're doing that, is there anything that Jakob and Julian, I know you're writing your letter, Jakob, is there anything that you want to be doing while you're on the boat and Bart and Gloob are departed?
I'm just gonna be standing guard.
Alright, just kind of making sure no other ruffians arrive. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Alright. So, once y'all purchase your ink and paper, y'all returning to the boat?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
get back.
Alright. Y'all are able to do that. Probably all said and done, probably about 30 minutes round trip. Going out as y'all wandered and chatted and then went through the paper and ink store, like a bookstore more, some like general stationery, that kind of thing, and returned to the boat.
Alright. Well, how's the letter coming along, Julian?
He is staring down at a piece of paper with 3 balled up failed attempts sitting next to him. He's like,
Probably as good as it's gonna get.
he's staring at this like it's a scorpion or something sitting in his lap. Like,
I'm sure she'll be excited to get it.
Right.
sprinkle a little sand on the ink to let it dry surreptitiously.
Okay.
We know where
Well,
we're supposed to. Oh, go ahead, Jacob.
I do need to grab that bath, but as Glube's saying, we should probably figure out where we need to be going to figure out where we're going.
Yeah, I mean, Glue posed a pretty interesting question last night. We don't really know who exactly we need to speak to about the details of this activity. If Saltmarsh really wants us to get involved with their affairs at all anymore. If that's the case, then we're probably going to need to figure out exactly how to get this information to the right person and who the right person is and get people to sell us out there.
Why don't you and Jakob go back to the guards tower and see if you can talk to Firebrand once more, if he hasn't already.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, if he hasn't already left yet, then it's probably best to hear it from him who to report to.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Me and Julian should hang back.
All right. I'll probably swing out and get a couple other things as well. The boat's a little bit lacking on supplies, so I'll get set up for some food for us to have an extended journey and some extra food for once we get to land. So
We also will probably need to we need to find a crew to take us, because I mean, the first time we went into the marshes, we had to sail there. It took 3 days, I think.
Right.
So
Which,
probably that's it.
given our popularity, might not be quite so easy.
We could also hire a smaller boat from the Mariners Guild.
I mean,
We can look at getting a crew for this boat or a smaller boat. Me and Julian can do that while you two go over to talk to Firebrand. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I also
Whatever.
need to swing by Zendros.
yeah, whatever y'all think's best, and you know, keep in mind Swahagin and Sea Princes trying to kill us. So, yep. We'll convene before I buy anything too extravagant.
If we do end up going with a smaller boat, we'll probably need to hire somebody to watch this boat during the nights, just in case.
I was thinking, do we really got a use for this boat? We planning on keeping it for? I mean, Julian, were you wanting to keep that boat for after all this is over and done with? Be like a fishing boat? I don't really know what this kind of boat's used for. Thought it was like a cargo boat,
I mean,
fishing boat, or is any boat a fishing boat?
probably be difficult to use as a fishing boat, I'd imagine. Certainly not what I'm accustomed to. But probably wouldn't hurt to own.
I was gonna say, if y'all were worried about the image of us as a group in town, maybe we could have this officially given to the town as a relief ship. If things get bad, this is an emergency escape vessel. They can man it with whoever. I don't know how that stuff works in a coastal city, how evacuations are supposed to be done, or anything like that.
I think if it's a slogging attack, they'll probably need to flee through land because they'll probably primarily be attacking through the sea.
Sure.
But I mean, that's not a bad idea. Just it doesn't hurt to be like, this is a escape vehicle just in case. Say the town's surrounded by land. This is a worst comes to worst.
Maybe we can trade it and get something that the 4 of us can sail by ourselves.
We'll see what our options are when we get there.
And maybe that's a decision we should all make together. Me and Julian will just hang outside of the guard tower while y'all go in, and then we can all go to the Mariners Guild.
Y'all can see what they got to offer, and we can come back and talk about any final decisions if you want.
Y'all just meet us over there when you're done, I guess, if that works.
Okay. Yeah, that seems good to me.
Okay. I think we also need to figure out if we. I don't think we own this boat. I believe it's in limbo, kind of who owns the boat, because obviously we killed the previous owners, and then what was seized on the boat was seized by the town of Saltmarsh. So I don't know if they seized the boat as well as saying, like, this is now the property of the town.
I mean,
The Mariners Guild take care of that kind of stuff?
yeah, Dungeon Master, is there like a law of salvage or anything like that?
If I recall correctly, the boat and its contents were seized by the town, but y'all had basically been given free reign to use it for the time being.
I didn't know if there was like an organized and explicit salvage law like there is in some places.
But
We
we
didn't
might be
know
able
that.
to.
Since the town claimed
city
it,
seized-
not really. Right? It was seized by basically the government.
Well, I knew its contents had. That's what I was asking about the
The
vessel.
whole
itself.
bitch.
We might be able to purchase a small vessel. I mean, a smaller one that the 4 of us can man. I can't imagine is going to be too expensive.
Okay.
I don't know how much boats are.
They
Let's go to
can
the
get
Mariners
pretty
Guild.
expensive.
Right. Well, let us know, I guess. Hopefully it's not anything too crazy.
Oh, you're meeting us there.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you shortly.
All right. So, from what I understand, Bart and Jakob, y'all are heading towards the guardhouse. Gloob and
Correct.
Julian, y'all are heading towards the Mariners Guild.
And to get my
And for you to pick up the tub, absolutely. I believe Bart said y'all were going to be running some errands as well.
Yeah.
So I believe that is when y'all be making the purchases as discussed during the break. Just odds and ends for picking up some things that I believe y'all wanted. Some more mundane shopping, as it were. All right. So y'all are heading off that way. So are y'all wanting to do your shopping before or after to the guardhouse?
We'll do it after.
Okay.
Because I think we're gonna want to see what type of amount of food that we need to get for
Sure.
the size of ship we're gonna have.
Gotcha. So, as y'all are on the docks right now. We'll go ahead and start with the Gloob and Julian, as y'all will get to the Mariners Guild quicker than they're gonna get to the guardhouse. So y'all are easy enough
Well-
able to make your way over that way. Yes.
And Julian was wanting to swing by Zendros.
Okay, were you gonna do that first?
I would assume so.
I mean,
mean,
that's
'cause-
up to you.
Isn't the Mariners Guild like several hours out of town?
The Mariners Guild has an office there in town.
Oh, well, absolutely fuck
That's
that then. We'll just
where
go
where
directly.
y'all went before.
Yeah.
So, y'all head on over to the Mariners Guild. I said it's a guild hall. It's not there where they're primarily based, but it's basically an office to handle things there in town. So that's not where everything is at, but they've got like an office for handling issuance of requests and things like that, rather than them being asked at their only communication or their only location being asked out in the middle of nowhere. If you're looking from other information from the module, I added this in so that because I thought that made more sense. Anywho, you guys easily enough make your way to the local office of the Mariners Guild there within Saltmarsh. Come in and there's a familiar face of the secretary who mans that front desk. Hi, it's been a while since we've seen you guys.
Yeah. Julian, you're the talker here.
Very well. We're wanting to know what the price of purchasing or contracting a sloop would be.
So how you something in the range of smaller vessel,
Keelboat, perhaps.
keelboat sized, so only three to four crew members, little extra space for other passengers and gear.
Exactly.
Well, to purchase, they're not going to be wanting to give up much of anything at the time. The starting price is usually around 3,000 gold, but it'd probably be a little more expensive during the times we're in right now. Every vessel is more or less in use.
And to contract. Does not need to be
Period of time, to where, some details on what the threat is to the vessel itself, as well as the duration of which you will be having it. I would need to put a price on that.
How long would you say, Glue?
I don't know. At least a week, probably closer to 2 if things go wrong.
By the week, what would the cost be for a venture of intermediate risk?
What would you consider intermediate risk?
How about this? We're doing this because Firebrand has asked us to. We're heading up north to the Swahagan base to help out with the war effort. You're gonna charge for that? Is that something you're gonna do?
I mean, I was not necessarily aware. I'm sure some allowances can be made, but there's still the threat of the vessel.
Is Major Ursa around?
I believe so.
The majority of the threat will be engaged off of the boat after we departed at our destination.
If you were taking this vessel to into Sahuagin waters, regardless of whether your intent is to engage them primarily off of the vessel, that is the issue we have ourselves had of them not necessarily agreeing to such things.
What about just a crew?
Just a crew.
We are in possession of a larger vessel, but the group of us is not enough to man it.
Currently, no members of the Mariners Guild are available for hire. They are all engaged in the current conflict.
So 3,000 to purchase.
To purchase,
And
yes.
how much to contract by the week?
By the week, for the apparent task that you have informed me of, probably somewhere around 150 gold pieces, just to contract the vessel.
Very well. We'll discuss these terms with our fellows and get back to you.
Of course, and as you said, if there still has to be some compensation for the risk of the vessel, and if you're able to get Captain Firebrand or one of the other council members or any other good Samaritan to put up some of that at the very least, then perhaps that could be negotiable as it is for the conflict.
We will
But
see
I
if the
make-
captain or another will insure the vessel when we return.
Very well. Of course, I make no guarantees. I will not be the final say on that, but I will go ahead and start writing things up and see what I can find out for when you return.
Mariners
Very
Guild isn't
well.
full of good citizens.
The Mariners Guild is full of those who not only are trying to currently prevent this conflict, but I mean, these boats do cost money. We have to make sure that if they're going into DM is losing his words, dangerous situation, that we can replace them to be able to continue doing what we do.
Julian will use the earpiece to send a silent message to Gloob saying,
They do what they do for money, and wartime does not change that.
So you're gonna keep, well, in order to keep doing what you're gonna do, you need to be here. You need to be alive.
Yes, but we also need our vessels. If we do not have, if our vessels are lost, then it costs money to
Your
replace them
vessels
or
are gonna
repair
be lost
them.
when the Swahagan reach the shore. We're the only ones out here trying to stop this. And you're sitting here trying to charge us 150 gold to just contract men to sail north with us for a couple of days. West.
I apologize if it is offensive at you, but I assure you I do not make the rules for these circumstances.
We
I
will
can only
discuss the
explain as
terms
best
with-
I can.
We will discuss the terms with our fellows in Firebrand and return. Gloob, let's go see where our friends are.
and trying to like hurry him out the door.
Wait, you stand up to Firebrand, but you won't stand up to this crummy piece of shit?
We'll discuss it outside.
Just like still trying to like hurry
What?
him.
No, there's no reason. There's no reason to be a coward about it now. You're
It's-
charging people to go save your town.
Let us discuss it outside, Gloob.
Ooh, that got squeaky. Hold on, let me go gargle
you-
some gravel or something.
Do you exit? Blue?
Gargle some gravel.
In a silent message just saying,
Please.
This is exactly what I was talking about. Your town, Julian. And we'll just kick the fucking door open and walk out.
Julian will follow him.
The clerk is kind of, as you exit, just starts writing on
And
parchment.
he catches up to Gloob, be like,
These people care not for any of the bloodshed. They don't care for Saltmarsh. They do what's profitable or what they think will be profitable, even at risk of their own destruction.
But these are your people, right?
The
So
Mariners,
these people are better than Firebrand.
the
I'm
Mariners,
confused here because they're the same shit pile of people right now.
the Mariners are not necessarily local. The guild is throughout the nation.
or so I would assume.
I mean, they're mostly local, though.
It's just convenient.
They will not bow their heads for this, and we can still get our way with a little bit of gold.
I mean, no, I don't expect them to bow, but I didn't expect you to bow right there either. You want to give Firebrand a whole heaping face full of shit yesterday about protecting the city, but these guys you let off scot-free. I don't know where the standard here is.
I'm not trying to get a boat from Firebrand right now. Firebrand has a job which aligns with our job. The Mariners Guild does not have that job at all. Their job is to make money as they see it. Far as I would know, they would feed us to the Sahuagin themselves if it turned them a profit. To argue with them will only ban us from getting a boat at all, and then we won't be able to save our town, my town.
All right.
You can't expect selfless or noble acts from them or many others. Though it would be the right thing, I agree with you.
It's not them. People, I mean, I've dealt with selfish my whole life. I get that. I'm talking about you, Julian.
Dealing with this people to get what we need requires behaving a certain way.
Huh.
I don't need that from Firebrand. He doesn't have a boat for me. And he needs us. The Mariners Guild, in their eyes,
They gave
don't.
us a boat on Firebrand's word last time.
Because they were getting something and probably Firebrand paid them for it.
Okay. All right.
They
I
received
guess,
something. That is
Sure.
the deal.
and it could be the same arrangement this time that they get something from Firebrand. But my point is that you had no problem with spitting in his face. But when it comes to these guys, for some reason, we just go quietly. I'm just trying to get where we're supposed to be at here. That's all I'm looking for.
If we can get Firebrand to bankroll us a boat, by all means. If we want to steal a boat,
He says, like, surreptitiously looking over his shoulder.
then we can do it. But arguing with them in that manner and to that person who is not someone who has power, he's just a secretary, will not get us anywhere.
Okay.
By all means, we'll take a boat. We'll get what we need one way or another. But that wasn't going to be the way to do it. Now, shall we talk to Firebrand about bankrolling the boat?
Not us.
Well, yes. Let's find Bart.
Okay.
We told him we were going to meet him at the Mariners Guild, so we'll just hang outside,
Hang out.
I guess, on the dock or something, or on the
Sure.
boat.
Sure. So, I mean, presumably
I asked-
Julian will be, I would assume, would go and drop off his letter.
Oh, yeah, that's what we'll do.
So, and that's easily enough. Easy enough to do.
Now, had we determined we were leaving today, or were we going to wait a couple days?
Y'all had not determined anything.
We have
thankfully.
no clue.
Okay.
Y'all have not decided, if I recall.
Oh, go ahead.
I jokingly asked the question in Twitch chat, like, if a person on Boots of Elvenkind kicks open a door, is there no crash?
The most unsatisfying door kick ever.
I mean, it's still like swing out and slam into the
Oh,
wall.
sure,
So
sure. I'm just curious. It's just
it'd be just kind of like if instead of just like you kicked out at it, it'd be like if you brought your foot up, placed it against the door, and then shoved it instead of just kicking into it. That'd be my interpretation, I guess. Unless you just want to say, well, it's a kick, so it's not a footstep, therefore it does make sound. I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So we get up to the guardhouse.
While
Oh.
he is at Zendros is dropping off the letter with, what was that, a 5 gold delivery fee last
Correct.
time?
Yeah, to just to Seaton, yeah, about 5 gold.
Well, he'll toss a couple extra gold on there.
I am unsure
Oh.
if my wife is currently residing in Whitecrest or at my brother's location in Seaton.
Ah. Well,
There may be 2 stops required. I would prefer it to be handed to her personally.
very well. I will have them check both. Whitecrest first, as it is closer, and then it will go the rest of the way to Seaton if that is not where she currently resides.
And additionally, I would like to acquire another outfit, preferably without it being known who it is for. Something nondescript. I'm not picky.
I don't usually much deal in clothes.
It is not the clothes for which I'm asking you for it. It is the additional middleman and your tight lips that I'm paying for.
Oh. I find that very curious. I don't know where secretly acquiring a set of clothes will be, but if you want me just to run to the store and buy you clothes so that they don't have to see you do it, well,
Indeed.
I guess I could be happy to oblige for the right price.
I will jot down a very brief description and my measurements and hand it to her.
And
He will hand her another 5 gold.
She's like, lovely. A 5 gold minimum is required for my services, so this should do just fine.
I will subtract the 12 gold total.
Alright. You do so. As you're leaving, she sends somebody else to do it.
As was fully expected. I expected nothing less.
And they probably got paid like 3 silver tops.
It's just one of her crew members. Like,
Yeah,
hey, go
she's
buy these
probably
fucking
getting
clothes.
paid,
Like,
yeah, he's probably getting paid like a lump sum for any errand they have throughout the time that they're employed.
It's like one of those like 2 to 3 silver a week people.
it's like, hey, go do this thing for me. But yeah, so you're easily enough able to do that. So, Bart and Jacob, y'all arrive at the guardhouse with, as previously seen, increased security.
I'm not done. Go on inside unless they stop us.
They do kind of hold up a hand, like, can we help
There's
you?
a Firebrand left already, or is he still in town for a little while longer?
Captain set out early this morning.
All right. Who do I need to talk to about mission we were asked to do for the city?
Presumably one of the council members.
Any available at the moment?
I don't generally keep tabs on all the council members. I don't have the time.
All right.
But I believe council member Copperlocks is also away this time. So
Okay.
Would they be at the town hall?
they may be, perhaps, if their business for the day takes them there. But it could be anywhere on their homes or anywhere
Alright,
where
well,
they doing
you're fine.
business.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
I am going to. I guess we'll head to the council building. Let's just go to the council building, see if anyone's there. Maybe someone will know where a couple of them are. It's time to be.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so y'all. The council hall is actually like a block away from the guardhouse, if I recall. So y'all trot on over there. Also, heightened security there. You ask the guards. None of the council members are currently in. The safe assumption would be their homes of the 3 that are still in town.
Which 3 are still in town?
That would be Gellin Primewater, Ida Owland, and Anders Solmore.
Well, and we've only ever been to Anders' place of residence, right?
As a group, yes. Julian had been by Ida's at one point.
Okay. Well, hell. You want to just go talk to him now, or wait till we got the whole party? I feel like both we split up into teams to do some quick errands, and both of us just had like absolute mission failures.
Yeah.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Let's go grab the things that we need, and then meet them at the Mariners Guild, so we can all head over to wherever we want to go.
All right, let's do it.
All right. So I'll say over the next like hour or so of having to ping pong about the town to get all the stuff that was on y'all's list, y'all are able to do so as previously discussed. Uh, Bart, you're probably pretty loaded down with 2 gold worth of foodstuffs.
Well, I haven't gotten that quite yet because we don't know
Okay.
what type of ship.
Okay, so you're not making your purchases quite yet. Okay, that's fine. Jakob, you're more full of stuff, but a lot of your things are smaller. But so instead of an hour, it's
I hope it
probably
carries
still
a
like
lot.
an hour. So over that next hour, y'all are able to gather up all that stuff and make your way back down to the Mariners Guild. So at that point, y'all probably end up only waiting about 30 minutes because y'all had to go talk to him, and then y'all had y'all's discussion. Then you went to Zundros and meandered your way back.
All right.
So we're at the
Yeah, you guys come
American
walking up, and Gloob and Julian are kind of hanging out over on one of the docks near the Mariners Guild.
Oh, how did it go?
Well, there's no crew for hire for our boat. To purchase a properly sized keelboat would be 3,000, if we could even find one. To contract one would be 150 per week, plus fees for risk.
Okay. Well, I mean, what are y'all thinking? Would you wanna buy one, or would you rather rent one?
Did you
Contract it out?
speak to Firebrand? Maybe he could bankroll us a boat.
He already left, and none of the council members were in the town hall, so we have to go by and speak to some of them in their homes.
Oh,
Of which there are only 3 left in town. Apparently.
lovely.
Oh hell, what was the other one, Yakin?
Mr. Primwater and Miss Owlin.
Excellent. Perhaps we can ask Miss Owland. She's a good woman.
Right. Yeah.
I do want to stop in at the guild real quick. I have a question. See if they have something that I can purchase.
Of course.
Gonna make my way over there.
You step into the Mariners Guild.
Mhm.
You're able to walk in, and you step in the front door to the same secretary's desk that your friends were previously, which you notice that the secretary recognizes you and kind of glances behind, like his eyes dart behind you to see if anybody comes with you, but nobody is following you at this time. So hello.
Hello.
Huh.
Sorry to bother you. I've been looking for an item, and I was told that it's often owned by ship owners, and I assumed y'all are the Mariners Guild, so you probably might have a couple. And I was looking to purchase it. I'm looking for it's something that's been described to me as something that creates water. I've been calling it the water skin of water.
A magical item, I presume. That would have to be in the personal possession of a captain, perhaps. So I couldn't tell you for sure.
Well, I was just mostly asking to see if it would be possible to have one requisitioned or put in a request for a requisition of one, or if not, that's perfectly fine.
The acquisition of magical items for customers, I don't think is really within our purview.
All right. Well, figured I'd ask.
Of course.
Appreciate your time, and I'll
Yes.
get out of here.
Very well.
Walk out and go back to the party.
Okay. Are y'all
Alright.
heading towards the Owland estate?
Yeah. Julian, do you know where Ida's place is? Miss Howard?
Yes.
Let's get on over there.
Julian will lead the way.
All right. And so y'all make your way over there to Julian, a familiar to you but not familiar to the rest of you, a fairly broad estate that is encircled by basically a wrought iron fence. Upon your approach, it seems to be a bit of a sprawling affair. Practical in nature at the very least with its construction. Nothing terribly fancy, but it looks like it does take up plenty of space. On the land of which it's separated. It has like several different wings that kind of branch out away from the main building and the like. But there are guards at this gate as you approach, as there were before, Julian.
Julian looks over at Bart.
Yeah, we'd like to see Miss Allen. It's about a matter of finding some Swahagan headquarters. Firebrand set us the task and didn't give us details before we left.
Dude still has his mouth open as you approach to hit, like kind of ask what y'all need as you unleash this information. Make a persuasion check for me.
Sure. Ooh, that's pretty good. That is 22.
He closes his mouth and thinks for a moment. I'll go check with the lady, Lady
Okay.
Owland, and see if she will see you. Looks at you and seems to more or less kind of, with who's in y'all's group, kind of seems to know more or less who y'all are. Who should I say is here to see her?
I'm Mark, that's Glue. This is Jacob and Julian.
Very well. A few moments. And he just kind of nods to his compatriot and turns and goes in through the gate and walks in. Like 30 seconds after he leaves, a different guy comes walking up from, looks like he was maybe patrolling or something along a different section of the property and joins the other guard. About a little more than that minutes later, the original guard comes back and Miss Allen would speak to you. If you'll follow me.
As the guard was walking away, originally I turned to Bart and go, "See, I'm telling you, we need to come up with a name because it's a lot easier than saying all of our names. They can just be like, oh, those guys over there, that's the Fantastic Four right there." I don't really like that one that much.
Yeah.
Something.
No.
Fantastic Four makes it sound like a bunch of idiots. What we're gonna do, like be stretchy or something?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, if y'all got any suggestions, I'm all ears.
Well, I think we can come up with some.
Okay.
We'll have
sorry,
that
you just
discussion.
You made it
Let's-
sound like you had suggestions, is all.
All I got right now is the Fantastic Four, and
Let's
it just
speak
doesn't
to
seem right.
Miss Owland. We'll have this discussion later.
All right.
Okay. So, he said the guard comes back, informs you that Ida will speak with you, and leads y'all down the path towards the main entrance of the house, which, upon entering, second verse same as the first. It's largely very functional. There's a few bits of furniture in the foyer area and some other practical bits for like hanging coats or hats or the like, but just there's nothing particularly ostentatious about the building as a whole. It's well constructed with sturdy sturdy woods and stone and such, but nothing fancy. No wood that looks like it's been imported from a far off land. And
It's not gaudy.
yeah, it's not gaudy. There's no like hanging tapestries. There's like a few things in here. There's like you see like a hung like skeleton of like a big ass like swordfish along one of the walls, but everything seems to be pretty practical or acquired through the work they do or through the trade of some similar kind. But takes you along, and this whole estate is one story. There's no second story, so it just kind of sprawls out across it, and so the guard leads you through a couple of different hallways before bringing you to kind of like a sitting room area where Ida is currently residing in front of like a fireplace in a comfortable but plain chair.
Well,
So he just lets you in and just stands his back up against the wall of the room.
yeah, before Firebrand left, he had a
Morning.
job. Right. Just trying to get things done. Hopefully can get out of here as soon as possible.
Hmm.
I understand before Firebrand left, he talked to us about a mission to find out the headquarters or the base location of the Swahagan. I believe that it was being headed out in the old lizard folk stronghold.
Yes, that
Oh.
was my understanding of the situation. None of the scouts that he had tasked with that assignment had returned.
And it still needed to get done, right?
Definitely would, from how he spoke of it, be positive.
We are most willing to take up the task. However, we are not enough to man the ship that has been previously lent to us.
Yes.
Would the city be providing transportation for our task?
Depending upon this transportation that you are requiring,
Either enough crew to man the ship we've been utilizing, or something smaller. If it's small enough, I can lead them in manning it.
if I recall correctly, the vehicle that you all have under use currently is a bit on the larger side.
You would need several more sailors to operate it.
And not even sailing all the way into the Sahuagins' territory. Were attacked more than once. I would say
Yep.
that a larger vessel probably is not the wisest. It was more likely to draw their attention, as we have had conflicts with them closer to home than even as far as you had gone before.
However you would see fit, Miss Howland. We just wish to accomplish our task.
Is
I'm fucking gonna give. I'm just gonna give Julian such a weird fucking look like, what the fuck? Right, man, we were just trying to get the information so that we could get going.
Yes.
Do you know which, I mean, is this gonna be. We've been gone for 2 weeks, and this whole thing needed to get done 2 weeks ago, and it was urgent then, so I imagine it's dire now. And I was hoping that maybe we could get gone by today or in the morning sometime. That being said, with you being more in the know of the situation as a whole, what's the best way to get there? I mean, is it going to be a fool's errand that you even try to get close to it on boat, or should we try going on land, or is that going to take too long? What's the risk we're looking at here as far as the information gathered?
I do not claim to be a strategist of any kind. That was Eleander's purpose and position here within Saltmarsh. So, as to what is fastest, I will presume by sea. Trekking through the marshes is never a quick affair, but as to how safe it is to get how close, that is, I couldn't tell you.
What, as much as we would love to keep doing things for the town for free, costs of resupplying are starting to catch up. Once we've completed the scouting, will there be anything in return, or should we not expect that?
Kind of rubs her face for a moment.
I guess another side question, if it would be easier, is Firebrand going to be at a location between us and the Swahagan stronghold? Would it be easier to just go wherever he's going and find him?
My understanding is where the current base of operations is closely along the coast, near to where the lizard folk that you had previously negotiated with are holed up, so that it is easy to communicate both with our sea-bound allies as well as those that require a little more land.
Right. Okay.
Perhaps aiding his effort so that we can do our effort from a position of stability.
What
It
are you
doesn't
asking?
help. It doesn't help for us to scout their lair or whatever if the city is lost while we're gone.
Yes, that would be incredibly unfortunate. Hopefully, as I've heard that you were successful in acquiring reinforcements from
Yes, ma'am.
Eberron. Wonderful. Hopefully that will assist with preventing that eventuality. Though I do not know if meeting with Firebrand where he is currently will do you much good. I don't believe that. I believe he is intending to command from the land. I do not know if he would have a vehicle for you.
All right. So he's marching towards that area then.
On horseback, yes.
Okay.
But
Well,
for a smaller boat crewed by the lot of you, I assume, believe we can put something forward. Some of my vessels are currently in use. I can have one of them requisitioned for you.
That would be most appreciative.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna say you lost several men last time.
I did.
I think it would be. Well, I guess you wouldn't offer it if you weren't comfortable with it, but I would want the men and women to know that we're coming along with us. That
This is a small enough vessel that
It will
you
be
should
just
be
us.
able to crew
okay.
it by yourself.
Okay.
I do not intend to send any of those in my employ into Sahuagin territory.
Fair enough.
As for compensation, I can make no guarantees.
That's fine.
We have
I trust you to be
bankrolled
fair.
much of
Should it?
what has gone on here.
I trust any compensation we may receive in the future will be fair, should it be a possibility.
I will do what I can, but I make no promises. At the very least for supplies, food, and other small things that can easily be done. But actual payment as you have received in the past, Those are large sums of gold. And we have spent heavily over the past month or so.
I've got a couple of ideas. We'll discuss it when we return.
Then do your best to do so.
By the way, Miss Ida, or Miss Al, I'm sorry. You know, names forwards and backwards being as they are.
Mm.
You wouldn't happen to know who in town spreading all those rumors about us, do you?
I do not. I wish I did. Whoever it is not doing this town any favors.
All right, let me rephrase that. Who do you suspect is helping push some rumors along?
I couldn't be sure. There are those that dislike the crown's presence. I have no issue with Firebrand. He is a good man from what I have seen and what I can tell. But they haven't been here for us quite a long time. So, those that hold grudges, and understandably, things that may invalidate our fishing industry and some of our more creative merchants.
Julian's nodding the whole time, like, yes.
They may have thought now was a good time to perhaps undermine that effort. Could be any number of people.
All right.
All they needed was to be in the right place at the right time to know.
I completely understand, and I get that. I get the angle, the scope. They want to get rid of Firebrand if he makes it back, right?
Or at the very least,
Discredit him.
discredit,
A whole lot.
drive him and the dwarves and those that would seek to change Saltmarsh away. Yes.
Gotcha. But begging your pardon, I was asking, who do you suspect is doing it? If
Who
you
would
had to
benefit the most?
put money down, you know.
To be frank,
That
many
could be
people
any other
would
person
benefit.
then.
It could
shit,
be
sorry.
anyone who smuggles any amount of goods. It could be, quite frankly, it would very heavily benefit myself and my family. We are a large and powerful fishing family. I own many boats, and if this mine is incredibly successful, it begins to make this more of a trade hub than a fishing town, that would injure my profits. But it would also injure any large merchant who dabbles in smuggling, which most, as far as I'm aware, do, would suffer. Any smaller smugglers would suffer. There are many people with about as much motivation. The problem is who would do it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, we're probably going to be going over to Anders' house next. I mean, is that who you're talking about?
Anders dabbles in both merchantry as well as fishing, but his family has been, I believe, very clean. As far as I'm aware, they have not been much for smuggling. A lot of the smuggling has to be done through less than savory sources. They were always people who are very upright.
Would Anders hold a grudge for his parents?
A grudge is an understatement.
Not just against the pirates?
That I couldn't say. As far as I'm aware, his obsession lies with the princes. And those that perhaps work for them. He has not sought to root out the smugglers here within Saltmarsh any more than anyone does, as far as I'm aware.
Alright.
Other than Anders, I would be remiss to mention my fellow council member Gellin is a powerful mercantile presence within Saltmarsh.
And he's still in town?
He is. Gellin is no fighter. We have
We're not going
dipped
to
into
fight.
his pocket enough. I mentioned that he is not going anywhere.
Right.
We have dipped into his pocket. He has supported my side and those that are more in the interests of old Saltmarsh politically. So he is an ally, but he is, I do not know. He's a prideful man. Vain, even. I would
You
not-
didn't have it done, did you?
She just turns and looks at you. I would have to be incredibly stupid to attempt to do that. Quite frankly, I do not think it will be successful, even if Firebrand and his men and those that follow the crown pull out now, they will come back. If the crown decides that they want something done here, they will come back.
Do I believe her?
You're welcome to roll an insight check.
Yeah, I'm getting in there too. 22.
The best we can do is try to curb the ways in which they wish to change Saltmarsh. And I do my best I can to do that. So 22, Gloob?
4.
Hard to
Huge.
read.
Them humans, you know.
Them humans. Was anybody else rolling?
Oh, I would never question
Okay.
Lady Allen.
Fair enough. Simp.
You know what? Sure.
Oh wait, I can't say
Shrimp.
that. Shrimp! Shrimp! What a shrimp.
You're not a shark, you're a shrimp.
15.
15? Okay. Oh god. Oh god. Let's see. Gloob and Julian take him off. So he rolled
Yeah,
a
you
4.
want me to take him off?
Yeah, take him off. Take him out! Damn you.
I'll be waiting on your thumbs up.
Yep, that's the plan. Alright, those who didn't roll a 4. So she, like, just on the whole, she looks not quite as tired as Firebrand, but she definitely looks like she's probably had some sleepless nights. So just kind of looking her over, and when she turns to speak to Gloob, is very, very, very easily seen that when she's like, yeah, anybody who is seeking to do that is fucking dumb. So, on the short, you do believe her. She does seem to be being truthful, if a bit exasperated. But
Yeah. It's taking all my willpower not to be like, what? It's just making really wild expressions.
all right.
Wait, let's do the pod.
Can I get poggers in chat? All right. So.
Okay.
I would not like to suspect any of my fellow council members, but do with your suspicions what you will. Many people could benefit, but it would be hard to pin down.
And just so I got it right, his name's Primwater or Primewater?
It's Gellin Primewater.
Primewater.
There's an E in there. I keep forgetting.
Okay. I was
There
like,
isn't-
I
there
have my
isn't-
notes as Primewater?
Yeah, there is an E in there. I don't know. I guess in my head, Primwater just sounds better. But it's like, it's canon, it's Primewater, so I mean, I can't change it now. Though apparently I did change Firebrand's name at some point. It was Fire something else, and then I've been saying Firebrand for like most of it, so I was like, yeah, that's
Fireborn, I think you said.
There we go.
right?
It was probably originally Fireborn, and I was like, yeah, Firebrand. I've been saying it, so that's what it is now. Fuck him. I'm his god.
we got the
the E
Chinese
is silent. It's
knockoff
Primwater.
of Ghost of Saltmarsh. Instead of Fireborn, we got Firebrand, and Primwater instead of Primewater.
Regardless. Yes.
So, well, I appreciate your insights, and hopefully those will lead us to the source of this stupidity, as you put it.
Indeed. So, as for the boat, give me a couple hours to locate it and make sure that it is ready to sail.
Appreciate it.
Should be down. It'll be down on the docks. If you go to the far end of the docks, that is where my warehouses are located. I will make sure that it is there and ready for you.
All right. Much obliged.
Of course.
And we'll try not to die and lose it for you, and come back with good news.
Which would be much appreciated.
Give her a hat tip and make my way out the room.
Julian will give her a very deep nod, this close to a bow, and then head on out.
Okay.
Before we go, I did want to ask. I've been looking for something that Captain Zinderus had told me about. I'm keep going till I find it.
Sure.
It's
She just opens her desk. Oh, you mean this? And just starts pouring water all over the fucking room.
fire hydrants is out. It's like a water skin that produces water. She said that like ship captains usually have them. Our friend Gloob needs water readily, and I was hoping to find one to make it a little bit easier for him.
I believe a decanter of endless water is that what
That
you were
is a
talking
lot
about?
better of a name than what I had. I had water skin of water.
They do not always come in a decanter, but so I guess it is possible that a water skin of endless water could exist somewhere. I'm familiar with the magical item, but I do not currently have any in my possession. They are popular with sea captains who are usually spending more time on the ocean, longer voyages. My vessels are fishing vessels. We're not gone for much more past the day, maybe a couple.
Do you know anybody that might have one?
Within Saltmarsh?
Yeah.
Not really. Outside of, unless anyone has one just to have one, I cannot think of many who would have need of one.
Well, I'll keep asking around and see if I can find one. Just
You do that.
somebody out. Thank you very much.
Guard leads you guys back outside past the gate and leaves y'all to your business.
You
What
want to
would
ask
you
the
like to do?
guards too, Jakob?
Oh, yeah, 1 second.
To be fair, y'all didn't hear him ask the clerk about it. See, y'all just think he's being
Oh,
weird
yeah.
to Ida.
Well, I guess on to Primewater's place then.
Well, I was thinking about it. Don't we also need to talk to Druzak and the other lizard folk to see where the
right.
old base is? Because they're at Anders' place where they were. I don't know if they still are.
Right. And you said you spoke with Anders about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk to him anyway. You're right.
Was
Let's head on over.
it just Now that I'm thinking about it, was it just Anders? Because he always seems to have his butler with him.
It was
Was
just him. He sent
Oh.
everybody off when we spoke. That doesn't mean he couldn't have overheard us, though.
He had Anders was there just with his guards at that time, and he had his guards kind of move out to be still within visual distance, but not necessarily within earshot.
I mean, at the end of the day, Anders and this Primwater guy can just be friends. Or Anders was trying to get support and mentioned it, and he saw an opportunity.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that our potential suspects, that we had everyone.
What's our end game here? Say this Primwater just says, yeah, it's me. What do we do?
We ask him to stop. And we see what type of person he is.
Okay, and when he shows us,
Then we'll know what to do next.
I need to know what that is.
We'll figure out a way to stop it.
And I think at this point, the damage has already been done. And unfortunately, it doesn't seem like somebody is continuing to spread false rumors in an attempt to damage our reputation. They're just saying rumors based off of what happened. Now, they might not all be necessarily true, but nothing new seems to have popped up. Like, they didn't say, like, oh, after he killed the guy in the jail, he went and murdered a family of 3.
Sure, no, they don't care about us. That's not what the rumors are about. The rumors are about undermining Firebrand and the fact that Firebrand allowed it to happen.
Well, I mean, if it does turn out to be a member of the council, then obviously the other council members need to know about it so they can deal with that themselves. I think even if he ends up getting kicked, let's say it is Primwater and he gets kicked off the council, I think unfortunately he would just end up in a position where he'd be able to continue to spread malicious rumors.
Not only that, Jakob, but all three are fishing merchants that are still left in town.
Somewhat reluctantly, Julian will nod and be like,
They are the core of the local traditionalist faction.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Anders is going to be one of the people that would be pushing for the crown to leave. He has an agenda of anti-piracy. He wants to see the Sea Princes eradicated for what they did to his parents, and that doesn't line up with the crown should leave. The crown shouldn't have any forces down here because you need a strong military to be able to kill those sea princes. I mean, we saw how much damage they can do, and that was one ship with one captain.
Unless it's a grudge. He could think that the crown didn't do enough back when it happened. He's holding on to this for this long. I mean, I get it, I do. But grudges like that don't just stop with one person or one thing. While he could absolutely hate the Sea Princes, doesn't mean he doesn't hate the crown for inaction either.
There are actually many locally that have that mindset.
You think? That's
I-
crazy.
he was supporting Gloob's argument.
Well, why don't we ask him?
I know. I was just jabbing in real quick.
He doesn't seem like he's been a dishonest man towards us. So why don't we ask him?
Yeah, I mean, I intend to.
You
And
can
to
talk.
interrogate are two different things, you know?
Was that Gloop?
So we need to talk to Druzok anyways, and then the sub chief Crossneil and see where the old base was, or the old fort for the lizard folk was, so we can get it circled on the map.
Definitely.
Is that on that way? Or I kind of assumed that we were just sort of walking that way while we were talking. We're just standing.
Well, y'all were y'all were back and
Alan
forth on
guards.
whether y'all were going to Prime Water or Anders, so it's kind of like, but
Go to Anders first,
so
I think.
heading
right?
to Anders' estate, right? Also, my computers got really loud for some reason. I'm like, it's okay, buddy. Don't. It's all right. It's okay. It's go woof, 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 and I'm like, ooh. Oh no.
Upset.
Uh-oh. So if my computer just fucking goes out, I'm sorry.
God, where are you?
God is dead. Anywho, so y'all make your way to the Saltmarsh estate.
As they're heading that direction, Julian will lean over to Bart and be like,
I sent a letter.
I know you did.
he looks incredibly uncomfortable with this fact.
Dear God.
I just let him simmer with it.
This Rolly's power knows no bounds.
Okay.
It was meant as more of a like, of course you did, Julian. I have full faith in you doing the right thing. But then you took it a completely different direction, and Bart was like, "That's right."
He knows when you are sleeping.
He took
knows
it in
when
the
you're awake.
he took it in the I'm still super fucking weird about this whole thing.
Okay, gotcha.
He knows when you send your wife mail.
Wait, what? I don't remember the song.
This is Barty Claus.
Party Claus.
Oh God. Okay. Focus. All right. So, y'all head to the Saltmarsh estate, which is more ostentatious than the Owland estate. It's definitely nicer, but it has, of course, his own guards out the front. And once more, I assume y'all just request to speak to Anders. Yep. And this time, this guy just, Master Anders has instructed us to, if he is in, to take you to speak to him. So, if you'll follow me. And turns.
Oh.
I feel like that's these guys scrap with the sea princes. Open door always.
That reminds me.
You about to ask these fucking guards too?
No.
Good
But
God.
We're gonna ride
because
out
we had
the last
talked
13 minutes of the session asking about the through Endless Love.
because we had talked to about how Anders doesn't like the Sea Princes, I am reminded, or Jakob is reminded, Gloob, we should definitely tell Anders about the information that Zindros gave us about the Sea Princes. It seemed like that was something we had agreed to do. So any information we got, we give it to him.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, we need to see what kind of space he's in right now, and also we don't know if he's a friend. We don't know if he's a friend right now. So if he's doing this, fuck him.
Alright.
Yeah, definitely.
We got a talking stealth check.
Don't worry about it.
was whispering. Come
I
on.
know. You can only whisper so quiet.
He's over there like
I will
in
get
the act
in
of
his
fear.
ear.
Oh, you're giving him the
Riding my
whispers.
shoulders.
You can't
Oh,
get
I
into his
was
ear.
gonna
You're too short.
I got a-
He
I got a
climbs up
climbing
on
speed.
All right, roll Constitution saving throw for me.
Come here, Yaka. Let me whisper in your ear.
Anywho,
Not if I got the chain helmet on.
the what?
You've never seen the chainmail helmets?
That's a. I think that's a coif.
Yeah.
But regardless, are you good?
Just imagine Yaka being like, I like it when I can feel your breath through my chainmail.
Oh my god.
All right.
Okay. So the card leads you in and takes you guys to a familiar study. That is where Anders currently resides. And y'all walk in, and Anders is standing like jacketless, like just like in his shirt sleeves, just kind of got his sleeves rolled up, still all kind of fucked up, like buttons kind of not quite lining up with the buttonholes. Hair's kind of a mess. He just kind of stood at his desk, kind of looking down at it, and looks up as you guys look in. Says, "Oh, this is good to see all of you.
Anders, late night.
Quite a few actually. Yes. What can I do for you? Or do you bring me something?"
I needed to talk to
He's just
lizard
like
folk.
fidgeting with his hands.
Get some information
oh.
about their old territory.
Of course,
And,
of course.
well, I'm sure you heard the rumors in town too, right?
That is it's actually part of what I am looking into recently. I know Firebrand told me that this is outside of his field of expertise, and not exactly in mine, but I can do the best I can at least. Go ahead and roll it.
Oh, I just did. Sir All the Leaf shines upon me with a natural 20.
Jesus Christ. Okay. All right. What's that bring the total to?
That brings the total to 28, I believe. 28.
All right. Earmuffs. At reverse earmuffs for just a few moments.
Okay.
Boy, take it out.
Chris just walked away.
With a natural 20, I mean, he seems very earnest. He does appear to be like he is looking into it.
Okay. And he seems very much like, obviously he's not a cause if he's looking into it.
I saw a thumbs.
He's looking into it. Yeah. Thumbs
Okay.
up.
Okay.
So that was a left unknown for the second part.
Basically.
Okay.
So you were just seeing if he was telling the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
God damn it, Jones! I can
I was
only
waiting
go
for
like
the
this so
I was
long.
waiting for the DM to do it, not you, dog.
But he says, yes, I have been looking into it as best I can. I'm not exactly my expertise, but it gives me something else to do aside from provide money to the cause. Also trying to get trying to keep the peace as best I can to prevent people from making mistakes in a time that is very ill-advised.
I heard a secondary rumor around town that old Prime Water might be behind the rumors. Was that the angle you were leaning towards?
He kind of froze his brow a little bit. I definitely haven't ruled it out as much as I would hate for it to be true, but I mean, I don't have a really good way of looking into Gellin, intimately, anyway.
Anders, you were one of the only ones that I had that conversation with. You were the only one that I had that conversation with.
Yes,
Did you speak to Gellin?
I speak very rarely. to Galen. Because I find his company not particularly tasteful. But, so outside of council business, I try not to do too much talking to him, quite frankly.
Okay. Sounds like you don't like the fella too much, or
Like, dislike it may be a strong word, but he is very, very, very interested in fashion and the owning of nice things and his own stature. It's not very entertaining. Very conversations get boring very quickly.
understandable. Yeah, Gloob's the only one of us that's got any fashion sense.
I do see that you. This is the same clothes I saw you in last time, though they little more worn.
Yeah, no scarf. It had an Oni head in it.
Mm-hmm. Pardon?
Yeah, we got those reinforcements. We needed to go kill an Oni and bring back proof.
Big magical troll thing.
An Oni. I am vaguely familiar with the concept. I can't say that I've encountered one myself, but yes, they am.
There's one less now.
Mostly I've heard of them through being in children's stories and boogeymen, but I guess it is not that surprising that they are real. Though
We
it is
killed the
horrifying. Oh, that's very reassuring. That had been quite the feat.
Well, it got us, what'd you say? At least a few dozen at the very least. Around 60 or something like that.
Yes. Before Firebrand set out, he did inform us that we were having reinforcements. Some of those in Burrow, some of the Rangers, and maybe some of their men-at-arms would be making their way down. So that is very reassuring. So hopefully that. I hear they're very good at what they do. I have not been to Burrow personally. I've not really my it's away from my interests. You understand?
Yeah, after being there, I got a really nice druid grove, but I don't really got much of an interest in going there and getting myself.
I did hear that there was a druidic presence up that way, but
I guess it's a grove. I don't know. Felt real nice when you went in there. Anyway, getting off topic. So you said you're investigating these rumors? If not, prime water.
As best I can, anyway. Is trying to get questions or basically trying to track down where they started. But it seemed to be, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. It seemed to happen all over the place very quickly. Not any one place at once. No one individual. Not from what I've found so far, anyway. But I'm not very good at it. But I try. Trying anyway.
All right. Well, that's good. Good. At least somebody on town might be still on our side. Appreciate it.
I sympathize with his departure from this world. So, and since Gloob said he had spoken to me previously, I feel reasonable in that it was not ordered by Firebrand or Copperlocks or any of the other Crown's folk that reside here within the town. So I have no reason to really put much faith in it. So.
I'm going to raise an eyebrow to whoever holds the information that Zindra's got for us.
He's just like
one
this
more.
entire time, like he's been like kind of stood at his desk. He's just fidgeting, constantly like drumming his fingers on the table and just like picking up and putting things down.
Are you well?
Oh no, I'm quite okay, I believe. Anxious, I guess, is probably the better word. Yeah, but
Yeah, I mean,
Some-
that's been Anders literally every time we saw him, right?
basically, he has a very frenetic personality.
Like I asked him if he was well last time too.
He's
Oh,
not.
okay.
It's not any more so now, is it? Is
It
turned
doesn't
into a
seem so. I
line?
mean, a little more
Okay.
fidgety, kind of like if he had ingested a little more coffee than normal.
Okay.
Probably very caffeinated, so it's like slightly
Gotcha.
more so, but in that regard, not so much as like he looks sick or anything.
Before I get to the next part, and before we talk to the lizard folk,
Oh yes.
if it wasn't you,
Hmm.
and if it wasn't Ida Owland, then that only leaves one other person that really benefits from it.
Possibly. From my understanding, I mean, I assume you mean Gellin, Bromwood. I mean, he would stand to benefit, but at the same time, it would put the town itself, possibly, at very much risk. So it would not be a very intelligent thing to do, but I can't say that it rules him out necessarily, but there would
So
also
you think
be.
it could be someone else then that you think there's a chance that it was not a member of the council?
And quite possibly. I mean, there are many around in and around Saltmarsh who would benefit. I mean, most people who oppose the crown's presence stand to gain from this. I suppose. Which
Like
I
the
would
Sea Princess?
most likely, though they would benefit from their absence, but I don't know. It's possible.
Okay. Shit.
Regardless of if it's them or not, I need to find who did it here within. So anybody needs to find it. We need to determine who it is. They're going to cause problems if, at the very least, until this conflict with the Sahuagin is over. They're posing a threat to the people here. So, Sea Princes or no.
One last question, and then I think I have at least something that might be of use to you. I don't know if it really will, but if it is found out to be a member of the council, what will happen to that person?
Can I be sure? At the very least, it really depends on how much of a problem it causes, and their motivations behind doing so. I mean, at the very least, a hefty fine, possibly jail. I do not know.
It's going to look real weird if someone's charged with destabilizing the city and then they get a hefty fine.
That is why I'm saying it's at the very least, it depends on what all goes on between now and then. Because right now, nothing too, aside from outcries and public opinion, nothing too bad has happened as of yet. But if there begin to be riots or any damage to property or damage to persons, then it will swiftly become more of an issue. At the very least, as I said, a hefty fine, bare minimum, hefty fine, and they will be probably kept under a close watch. Some of their assets may be seized, as I said, and it depends on why they did it. If it is determined that a council member was responsible, there would have to be some further investigation as to their motivations.
We did get some information regarding some of the Sea Princes, specific members that we're looking for, but
Immediately stops fidgeting and just like leans forward from behind his desk. Yes.
We gave you the name Farenzol the Butcher before.
Correct.
A little bit of background on him, that he spent a number of years in the fighting pits. That's where he got his moniker. What we didn't know about him before is that the ship that we encountered, the Princess Winch, he was originally the first mate on. He was not the captain originally. His first mate now, Cathora, who we got a last name for, Cathora Falmorin, was the captain originally.
Curious.
Then she went mad
Why?
out of the blue. No one has an explanation for it. And now he captains the ship, and they are.
They said they went off on some expedition or something together and came back, and he was the captain after that, and then she was the first officer. Isn't that what they said?
Yeah. They went off somewhere, and inexplicably she returns mad, and he's the captain of the ship now. But they are still lovers, which seems weird and creepy to me.
More
Am
nodding
I-
from Julian.
Am I adding that part in? I'm not, right?
That's
That is
correct.
what was
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
At some
Yeah,
point during his addition to the ship, they became involved, and that is still the case.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't know if the last name helps at all. That's probably the most useful of that information.
Probably so. We will see. I'm doing some of my own, putting my own feelers out there to find them, any of them.
Have you come up with anything?
Nothing satisfactory.
Are you familiar with a Captain Zendros?
The woman down at the docks. I know she usually comes and goes, and she's supplied quite a few magical potions to Captain Firebrand and his troops. I know she usually is not stationary for this period of time, but has chosen to stay here while the waters are still more dangerous.
Well, if you got some time, maybe you should go down to the docks. It's got a nice little setup there, and see what else you might have for sale. If you're wanting some information, tell her you sent us.
I see.
Or tell her we sent you.
This is, and she is where you found this information on these two.
Oh, I didn't say that, but
Well, that
I will obviously smile. You know.
well, I will.
Lube is shaking his head yes, and then Bart says that he stopped shaking his head. I wasn't supposed to tell him.
Says well then I guess we'll have to pay her a visit or have someone within my employ do so if I'm to remain at least relatively inconspicuous.
In that regard, paying her a visit, pay is the optimal word there.
Yes, I've heard that she is a shrewd businesswoman. Charges handsomely for her services and goods. So, I will.
Just so you're aware, we have confirmed that there are. You may know this. This may be obvious to you, but I don't know. But there are sea prince spies in Saltmarsh.
I am aware. Unfortunately,
if you go out and about.
Locating them and pinning them down is difficult.
Yeah.
Over the past few years, I have identified some of them, but they disappear. I've never been able to really get my hands on one.
They've disappeared.
Disappeared.
If we're ever in town and you happen to know one, maybe we can keep them from disappearing.
Sure. That would be
mutual interest, you know.
Exceptional in its usefulness.
All right. Well, yeah. This was a much more pleasant exchange than I thought it was going to be.
He looks a little confused. What?
I hate politics. I'm just
Oh.
going to be frank with you.
They're
And
not exactly exciting.
I
Before
never
we go
thought
to
of.
talk,
Go ahead.
before we go to talk to the lizard folk, I've asked your fellow council member. I figured I'd ask you. I'm looking for a decanter of endless water. This is to help our friend Gloop feel more comfortable during our and comfortable and safe during our adventures.
Mhm.
I was wondering if you have one and if I could buy it off you, as during these times it's a little bit harder to find things like that.
I myself do not own one, but if anything, it may be one of my mercantile vessels. One of the captains may have acquired one, or purchased one, or seen one. I do not know. I could ask around for those that are still in this port. But
That would be very much appreciated.
well, like I said, I can I can ask and see what I can turn up. That would, of course, I would not force any of those within my employ to sell their belongings. But if they do, then I can point you their way, so you can at least attempt to negotiate with them.
I appreciate it very much.
Well, of course. But you need to speak to Crushnil and his friends.
Right.
I need to take a break anyway. Come. And
All right.
he steps out from around his desk and steps out into the hall, becoming flanked by a couple of guards that are out posted outside of that study. And as he takes you guys up towards where the lizard folk are, their quarters for their time being here in Saltmarsh, that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Hey.
So as
Nice.
we have managed to run a good bit over already, so we'll start it off. We'll have that information you get from them nice and fresh at the start of next session. But good stuff. Oh man. So thank you all so much for coming to play with us, or play with me. Thank you guys so much for coming to watch. We appreciate it. We do this campaign every Monday here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then every Saturday we have our Across Eberron campaign, DM'd by Glue, who, let's see if I can remember without looking, I believe he is actually this way for me with my finger. I don't know. I may be being really
Nope.
dumb.
You
Nope.
got Kent.
Did I get Kent?
Hey.
Oh yeah, it's that way. Because I remember every time I look at Kent, it's one of those where I'm looking the wrong way when I'm looking at your guys' images there. But anywho, we'll go ahead and we're gonna drop a raid here on our friends here, Total Party Chill. But do keep in mind that, or remember that we are still doing our charity run for Extra Life, which is a children's charity that benefits children's hospitals across continental North America. We are specifically benefiting the Children's Hospital of Atlanta. If you do so, you may also get the chance to win some cool prizes, like a digital copy of Tasha's Culture and Everything, a gaming mouse or gaming keyboard at our $2,500 and $3,500 goals there right near the end. So, as is a worthwhile cause, so go ahead and check that out and drop at least, open your hearts and your wallets to at least a little bit of money. And come join us on this Saturday as we continue to have just gotten our asses kicked and stuff. So we will talk to y'all later. Bye!
Bye.